There we go. It never ceases to make me very proud. Try to do this without knocking the button. 1 second. It never ceases to make me very proud of how far my setup has come. From being this, I remember when I did this 10 years ago. One second, I'm going to send this really quickly. There, all the typing. Never ceases to amaze me how far I've come in creating this setup and understanding how things work. I was switching my little... I have two microphone arms on my desk. I have one behind me, which is using a Neumann TLM 103, and then I'm currently using a shotgun mic. I'm using a something similar to the Sennheiser MKH 416. I can't remember what it is called. Oh, it's a Synco D1, but it's made to emulate the MKH 416 shotgun mic, which is, I use it because it seems to, let me do this real quick. It seems to do a really good job of kind of emulating that MKH sound. But when I started out, I was, excuse me, when I started out, I mean, I didn't know anything about any of this. I was on two separate computers capturing two separate USB microphone blue snowballs they were, which is still, I think, a great beginner microphone, and it sounds really good with processing in modern computers. And now here I am on a soundboard, balancing with music, using professional microphones and good arms, and have this whole setup that feels like I'm actually a part of a studio. And I think that's super, super cool. Let me catch up, because Dr. Matt has had so many things here. Let me catch up here. Fourth was Shannon Purser. So Billy West, Phil Lamar, which are awesome. Found out Billy West was ASD. That's interesting. Secret that is probably a secret to no one. I am also on that spectrum, but not on the heavily dependent side. I'm on a different side. It used to have a different name. I won't go deep into that, but you can't tell, I think, by talking to the people. You have to, in a lot of cases, there are a lot of people that are on the spectrum, that are diagnosed on the spectrum, that are very, everybody kind of has a preconceived notion of being severely atypical, and to some extent that is exactly what they are, is atypical, but not severely so. In a lot of cases, people fit in, so it's really nice. So, very nice. Yeah, he was the red M&M for me. She did look a bit tired, which was completely understandable, but she was still in great spirits throughout. Honestly, she was just lovely. Wonderful. Pictures on those games include so weird that they're launching. So either they're launching it there tomorrow, or someone's being lazy and using the Switch picture. I think it's the latter of that, sadly. I think they're just using the Switch Grand Collection. For whatever reason, it seems like PlayStation just gets the short end of the stick when it comes to that Grand Collection. I also learned she was good friends with Gary Conway, co-creator of The Punisher, who has recently passed away. I got a selfie with her and had her sign my Stranger Things graphic novel, The Other Side. Very nice. I'm really glad I finally met someone from the show, especially since meeting the rest of the cast just wasn't within my budget this time. Well, I mean, it sounds like it was a very expensive trip, so I get it. Now for the bonus guest, Gil Bellows, I got a signed photo of the character Waddy Watts from the 1994 film Love and a 45. He seemed genuinely impressed by my knowledge of the films and media and really appreciated how much I loved that film. We even talked about how Quentin Tarantino had cited it multiple times over the years, referring to it as one of the best Pulp Fiction-style films of that era and praising the director C.M. Tolkington. And an interesting name, too. Aside from meeting guests, I made sure to take plenty of photos, picked up a bit of merch here and there, and spent the rest of the day wandering around, chatting with fellow fans, and just fully embracing the whole experience. Towards the end of the day, I headed to the nearby McDonald's, something of a tradition at this point, to grab something to eat, before my dad picked me up, and we headed back to the Whirl. All right. All in all, it was a fantastic day, and I'm already looking forward to the next event I've got lined up. But for now, I'm just taking it easy. I've been up since 6 a.m. anyway. Very nice. Very nice. Sounds like a great experience. I used to do, as I've said this multiple times before, I used to do, many, many years ago, I used to work in video game, the gaming industry as a whole. And so I went to several of those conventions as a part of work. Not comic conventions, but conventions similar where I was playing video games ahead of time and got to meet some great celebrities as a result of their efforts within the game, and obviously them wanting the game to do well, and some interesting points of performance. So Mark Hamill, Hulk Hogan, T.C. Carson, Barry Sanders, The Miz. There's a lot of different people, but that's the list I go through. It's been a while since I've actually had to do one of those. I enjoyed doing them, but they were work. I was doing them for work, so as fun as it was work, and so it was also very tiring. I'm not a very outgoing, physical, social person. I very much like my peace and quiet. I like my books, and so I remember having a lot of fun at those and playing the video games and having the conversations and talking with them about what this is and understanding a strategy when going back. But then at the end of the day, it was always very nice to return back. I was just completely wiped out most of the time. And yeah. I bought Star Wars Dark Forces. Very nice. I really, really like it. I really think that's a good game. The original one's great, of course, but if you bought the remastered version, I think they did a really good job on that. Can you turn down the typing thing? I have a nice clickety keyboard. I have it's a typewriter style keyboard, so it basically looks like a chunk of wood with typewriter style keys. And it's got a little metal bar in there where I can set a notepad or whatever, and it'll set up for me so I can read off of it if I need to. And then I have it's got the reset bar, basically, which actually changes the lighting patterns of it. Not bad. It's not a bad keyboard. It's something that I like, so I like the clicky sound, right? I'm not one of those, and I there have been some people that have come into different streams that we've done in the past and been like, well, this isn't the type of clicky I like, and this I'm like, it's not your keyboard. I'm not one of those. I don't like the feel of O-rings dampening the sound of my clicks. You got to consider that when I was growing up, Apple IIe's were the computer that you had, so you had those big kind of thick, chunky clicking sounds. Matter of fact, if you ever go and play the Oregon Trail, not the Oregon Trail, but the Oregon Trail, the parody, the zombie parody, you'll hear those big kind of simulated chunky clicks, and I can tell you right now, that's what they sounded like, and I still love that to this day. My next conversation will be it will be Geek Bazaar in Liverpool on May 17th, a smaller convention, which is probably for the best after attending Comic-Con Liverpool today. Oh, absolutely. I imagine that it's easy to become overwhelmed, so. Never ceases to amaze me how far I've come. Same, man. I accidentally hit an 80-year-old neighbor once for all the way over here. I meant technologically, not biologically. What I was going to say, so when I was starting this channel, It's been a while. It's been a while, right? It'll be 10 years working on it this September, and then uploads I think will be nine years or so this August, I think. But we had these two computers that were, which is crazy to think about, my goodness. But we had these two, the way I had it set up is I'm using this capture card. I don't know anything about video game capture. I know a lot about video games, don't know anything about video game capture. And so I'm trying to figure out, how do you capture HD systems? How do you capture non-HD systems? I don't want to use an emulator, or if I have to use an emulator, I need it to feel as close to the real deal as playing it from the console. And most of the stuff I play now is played from genuine hardware. But at that time, I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to make the switches work. I didn't know how to do the microphones and the audio. And so I had this. I had two desktop computers, not very powerful, and their whole job was to capture audio. One was to capture for mic 1, one was to capture for mic 2. And then what we would do is we'd do a sync. You would go through it. And you would we would do a sync test where basically we're on the menu of the screen, and then I would go up, down, whatever. And then what we would do is we'd sync the audio of me saying that, where you could hear me really forwardly on the mic that I was on. You could hear me in the background of the other mic. We'd sync those two pieces of audio together, and then we would sync those two pieces of audio together with the video. We'd sync those pieces with each other, and then we would also sync those two pieces with what I was actually doing on the screen. And I didn't know about time stretching. I didn't know about, one of them I had in 44.1, the other one I had in 48. I didn't realize that was going to cause desync after time and all kind. Anyway, it was a whole bunch. So we went to basically having 3 computers and doing it very poorly to now having 1 computer and some dedicated sound equipment and doing it what I think is pretty okay. Not too bad. So I could be wrong, though. Speaking of Mark Hamill, while I was at the convention, I tried to find the graphic novel he wrote back in 1996, The Black Pearl. Didn't find it, but I'll get it someday. Oh, absolutely. Best birthday present I received this year, an R36 Max Retro handheld game console, thanks to my friend and next door neighbor Fraser. Nice. America isn't the type of country I like. You can change your accent and language. Thank you. Wait, hold on. America isn't the type of country I like. Can you change your accent and language? Thank you. Well, I speak English. So we'd both have to change our languages, but accent, no, not really. It's an absolutely fantastic gift and one that genuinely means a lot to me. Oh, good. Console allows me to dive deep back into a huge range of classic games from various systems. I should probably go and change this over, shouldn't I? Since getting it, I've already spent quite a bit of time exploring different games, rediscovering old favorites, and even trying out a few I never got around to playing back in the day. It's been a real nostalgia trip, bringing me back to the memories of simpler times when gaming felt a bit more straightforward and purely about enjoyment. Yep. Fraser clearly knows the kind of things I enjoy, and if it's one of those presents, feels very personal rather than just something picked at random. Yeah. It's definitely something I'll continue to get a lot of use out of, whether it's for a quick session here and there or longer periods of revisiting classic titles. Very, very nice, yeah. Yeah, N64 can be difficult to emulate. It's why it's why when I was doing the channel, I wanted to be able to hook up the old system. So when I do my N64 games, I'm actually playing them on the N64. I have 3 N64s, just in case one fails. We have the gold one, we have the Pikachu one, and then we have one of the classic black and grays. And then 2 PlayStations, 1 PlayStation regular and 1 PS1, 1 Dreamcast, 1 Sega Saturn. I think we have 3 or 4 GameCubes. I keep a stock of Wiis because those are great emulation machines. So very, very nice there. But it's funny to look back and say, to look at the very first video that went up on the channel was Spy Hunter, and I played that game with my brother. My brother played the game, really. I was familiar with this. He's familiar with some retro games. He's not, I wouldn't call him a retro gamer, but he's familiar with a lot of retro games, and there are retro games that he loves, and he is pretty good at. Super Mario World and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Contra 3. But then, as far as him preferring to go retro, I don't think that's usually the case, or if it is, it's retro of the early 2000s. You know, he prefers to go Halo and such. And but just thinking about how much things have changed in 10 years, thinking about how we've almost entirely shifted from buying video games on discs and cartridges to almost entirely digital. I mean, we had a pandemic happen in between, and that pandemic seemed to have shifted everybody in their purchasing habits and their mindsets and their hyper consumerisms. You have 3 N64s? Hey man, that's cool. Give me 3 of them. If I can't, then I would have none. It's funny to look back. Depends on who's chasing you. Things have changed so much with games. They used to launch and work. Yeah, exactly. Well, think about this, though. 10 years ago, Grand Theft Auto 5 was 3 years old. True story. Ten years ago, Grand Theft Auto was 3 years old. September specifically, but it's weird. All right, chaps, I've got to head off and have my dinner. Cheerio, Hammerhead. Stay fresh. Yeah, have a great day, Dr. Mad. We'll see you if you happen to pop back in. Pleasure getting to hear about your experiences at the Comic-Con. I mean, there's still so many good games that are coming out. There's still so many. Again, I said this in the chat. Stay fresh. How does he know? I smell great today. I smell great all the time. Only if you're smelling me. Yeah. But like, there's still great games that come out. As I was saying, this year, I think my most excited or most anticipated titles are going to be the James Bond game that's coming out this month is going to be a huge one for me. The Star Wars racing game, the new Castlevania game, and Blood of the Dawnwalker. Those are the really big ones that I'm excited about. Are those ones? No, I'm not excited about, that's the other thing, is I'm not excited about every game that comes out. So like, there are several games I've been looking at but GOG is having a big sale. I like to look through the sale, and they're having a couple of different ones running simultaneously. Obviously, everybody's got a big Star Wars sale since tomorrow is May the 4th, where you can purchase Star Wars games at a fraction of the cost, so fair there. And then there's a Polish sale, I think, Polish game, because of course GOG is a Polish company. There are a couple of, I think, like puzzle games, strategy games. I think right now they've got both Kingdom Comes packaged together. The Royal editions of both Kingdom Comes, I think, on GOG are $50 or $55 too, so which is a really good deal. And I think Kronos came up, I think it was called, and I was like, I still haven't played that game, but I didn't feel bad about that. I was just like, okay, you know. There really are, man. The mindset that games are awful nowadays is insane, and I'm one of these back in my day guys too. I definitely prefer. I mean, I think in the older days there was a preference. I think there was a preference for making games that were fun versus today, where people are pretty well able to account for almost like the gaming has almost become like designer clothing. Like, people know you're going to buy Gucci because it says Gucci, not because it's a higher quality of product. Case in point, Gucci or Michael Kors watches is those two fashion watches are not great watches. They're fine. Most fashion watches insides are made by Fossil. Fossil is a very affordable company. And yet people will buy Michael Kors watches like crazy because they feel like it's a flex or status symbol because they've spent more money. But they've spent more money, but they've not gotten a better watch, you know? Did you hear that GOG is shutting down? I can't believe it. I really thought it would have been forever. Yeah, no. It's not going anywhere, thankfully. I'm one of the founder things or whatever they call them now. But anyway, so they would say ahead of time if that were the case. I'd be like, well, no. Kronos is fantastic. Buy Kronos. I will. But it's again, it's one of those, and Hell Is Us, right? And I played Hell Is Us, which I thought was fun. But I felt very, like, I didn't feel compelled to buy the game because I needed to buy the game. I felt very comfortable knowing, you know what, I can play this game. It's okay. It's, you know, and being excited about the games that I was excited about, you know, because everybody kind of jumped on these bandwagon. Oh, you know, it's going to be like when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. So, everybody's going to get. I'm not getting Grand Theft Auto 6 day one. I do not care about that game. I really don't. I don't care about Grand Theft Auto. A lot. I think may have been Strauss Zelnick. Somebody came up and was like, tell me you don't care about Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm like, I could do that, honestly. I really don't. I'm not a great fan. I think Grand Theft Auto in the early days was fun. I think Saints Row was better for a good long while. I think that Grand Theft Auto was weak, and I think Saints Row was a much better version. Saints Rows 1 and 2 were a lot better, in my opinion, than Grand Theft Auto 4, which was what was out at the time. Grand Theft Auto finds 5. 5 is fine, but you know, and it's like, but I am excited about the James Bond game. I'm super excited about. I'm super stoked about that. Blood of the Dawn Walker having gotten a release date, and that beautiful collector's edition with the painted like cathedral style box and steelbook, and that 9-inch polystone statue, and you know, so I'm really actually very happy and excited about that. Watch out, because here he comes. Been a week, but he's back with style. Get set to have. My goodness, I'm having trouble. Have some fun. He brings you action and satisfaction. The retro room. ROOM, the retro room. Oh, I got the theme song. That's fantastic. Vinny, that would be fun for you to have, for you to do a theme song like that. That would be awesome. Guaranteed to brighten your day when you feel like a laugh. Give him a call. He'll give you his all he feels. That whatever song, either you're referencing this or you're remarkably, remarkably clever, because this sounds like something very it's very well put together. Yeah, I'm not a great singer. That's my problem. Would you like some toast? And then, yeah. Who's the mad Australian singing? Not Alvin and the Chipmunks. They're not Australian. Oh, hi. Can you imagine that being done in the Alvin and the Chipmunk style? That'd be nice. Saints Row being better than GTA is your wildest take, but hey, man, we could still be friends and secret lovers. Well, it's not better than all... So, let me be clear. It's not every Saints Row... I'm not making a sweeping statement that all Saints Row are... I've not played Saints Row. Oh, I had to reference you couldn't sing. I can sing, probably just not well. I mean, my voice again is not a. It's not a. Especially now, which is I'm very. I'm a little under the weather, so my voice isn't great. But yeah, it's. I can technically sing. It's just not great. To be clear on my Saints Row take, it's not saying that all Saints Row are better than all Grand Theft Autos. I quite liked the original Grand Theft Autos for the PlayStation. And I quite liked the earlier Grand Theft Autos like 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. I think those are good. And then Saints Row 4 comes out, and I think that Saints Row is better than GTA 4. I think that Saints Row 2 was better than GTA 4. And I think that those probably did do better from a technical perspective than their predecessors. Not all the way across, but I think they did better than a lot of their predecessors. And then Saints Row 3 came out, and it decides it's going to just be all over the place. And I was like, okay, I'm not as big of a fan as this. So I don't necessarily... I'm not saying all Saints Row are better than all GTAs, but in the era where GTA 4 was what we had, and we were coming off the heels of... I do think Saints Row 1 and 2 were better. And I still think Saints Row is a lot of fun. I have the newest one. I haven't played it a ton. My wife has, and she says it's okay. It's not, you know... Sleeping Dogs is better. Sleeping Dogs is fantastic. Absolutely, Sleeping Dogs is great. Vice City is my favorite. Maybe 2? Maybe 2 is my favorite. Yeah, maybe. Vice City is Vice City, I thought about my favorites, but I really like the ones that are a lot more like Hotline Miami. Which Hotline Miami, by the way, if you've never played that, those games are really fun. You can find those on pretty well any given day at like $1 or $2 a piece, but those games are great, in my personal opinion, so... Vice City seems to be more the setting for GTA 6. I think a lot of people brought it back. I think they brought it back because a lot of people did like Vice City, but I don't think it's going to be the same. Oh, it won't be the same, yeah. The 80 settings won't be there. Yep, I agree. It's going to be Vice City, but it's going to be Vice City modern day, so it's just going to feel like in California. Vice City with social media and stuff, yeah. Also at 6 a.m. on May the 4th. What is this, Deathgate? It's supposed to be Death Star. What Star Wars fan are you? It's not May the 4th over here yet. It's only May the 3rd. So I'm a good Star Wars fan because I'm staying true, but not in all time zones. I did debate actually doing a Star Wars stream, and then I thought, you know what? I don't know what game I would want to play that I would want to play just for the stream and then drop off. I think the next Star Wars stream I do will probably be it'll probably be something a little bit more long form. I have so much nostalgia for GTA 1 also. Yeah, GTA 1 is great. Again, I like the kind of Hotline Miami feel aspect, you know. I think that's I don't know if it's the best comparison, but I do think if you've not played Hotline Miami, it's worth a try. this real quick. There we go. But yeah, in terms of Star Wars, I'm thinking about Star Wars. I do think Star Wars. I am excited about. I'm excited about some of these new Star Wars games that they're coming out with. I do wish we had more about the KOTOR game, but you know. There's a game called American Fugitive that's clearly inspired by early GTA. I haven't tried that one. Yeah, I haven't tried that one. I don't know that I know that one. Latest discussion on Discord is Mario Galaxy movie doing well at the box office and Miyamoto not prioritizing story. Did Miyamoto write the story for... I was gonna say, did Miyamoto write the story for the movie? I didn't know that he did. I figured he probably had some involvement, but I didn't know that. He sort of was in charge of the movie? Yeah, I was gonna say, how was he in charge of the movie? Like, did they give him... Yeah, that's what I was gonna want. That's what I was wondering is how was his involvement? Yeah, involved. Yeah, and I imagine so, but I don't imagine he had. I don't believe he had complete creative control. That was my wondering. Oh, you're fine. Okay. Let me trying to make some changes real quick here. There we go. Yeah, there's another thing that I think is this, again, going to having this kind of conversation with I've had this conversation before with, but there is this big want for every game to basically be this blockbuster masterpiece and every kind of movie to be that way too. And it's like, if you look at Mario games, in a lot of cases, there are Mario games that absolutely have great story, right? You have a lot of the Super Mario, Paper Mario, Super Mario RPG styles that have really fun stories. They're still fairly shallow stories, but they are decent, and a lot of those are, you know, in collaboration with another team or group of writers. But when you start trying to take that stuff and you're saying, okay, well, you know, Mario should have this wonderful story, it's like, well, they really take a look at most of the Mario games. Do they have a great story? No. It's Princess got captured. Mario goes to defeat Bowser or whomever the bad guys are in this case, and then whoever the bad guys are, and then rescue Princess. So a lot of people having these high expectations. Oh my goodness, I was hoping for Shakespeare. It's like, hey, that's weird. Top 3 game creators, developers. I know games take more than one person, but you know what I mean. For me, it's Shinji Mikami, Shigeru Miyamoto, and Ken Levine. I mean, that's a pretty good list. I do also like a lot of... so I think for me, Miyamoto and Mikami are great. They're probably in my list. I would add... I'd probably add Koji Igarashi and Hideo Kojima. I'd probably add Kojima, and I'd probably add Igarashi. I'm sorry, not Igarashi. Igarashi. I think Miyamoto for me probably has to go to the tip top just because of how much of an influence he's had. But I would say right below him for me would be Igarashi, and then Shinji Mikami and Hideo Kojima could swap for third and fourth as far as I'm concerned. People wish Koizumi could have been more involved, if anything, to include more of Rosalina's storybook, something Miyamoto did not want in Mario Galaxy 1. Well, yeah, I mean, that's fair. I still absolutely like and respect Miyamoto, but people do talk about how he feels about stories in games. Well, I think I don't mind that though. Again, Miyamoto, I think, is one of the things I love about Miyamoto is that Miyamoto doesn't need a story to make a good game. He just needs a passion. Like the reason that he made Nintendogs, I believe, was that he was passionate about dog breeding. He was passionate about his own hobbies, habits, and animal friends, right? And it's like, he made a game. The game Nintendogs doesn't have a story, but it's a fun game. It's a cute game. It's basically big Tamagotchi, but it's a fun and cute game. And it's like, I get it. I see what's going on here. So, the thing that annoys me more than anything nowadays with games is how the majority of people will not give AA a chance. They just won't do it. Yeah. Koji is a good choice. Thank you. John Romero, Ed Boon, Glenn Schofield, John Tobias, John Carmack, or a few. Oh yeah. Stories the lowest. So, yeah, stories on the lowest tier of what's important to me. So for me, graphics are. I don't mind. Here's the thing. Story is give or take, but graphics are give or take. Some of the greatest stories in games that I've had to deal with have had 16-bit graphics, or even 8-bit graphics. Final Fantasy games, Chrono Trigger, Romance Saga, heck, even Evoland to an extent. Graphics are not great, but the story is great, and I loved it. At the same time, I don't need a great story in order to enjoy a game either. I'm okay with plumber jumps over hole in ground. Right? Hole in ground that leads to nothing. There's no reason. There's no reason for that hole to go nowhere and just automatically mean death, but, in terms of that, I've also played visual novels, I think they call them. And they're just stories basically where all you're doing is reading and choosing your own adventure. So there's that. But then in those instances, stories are super important because that's all that the game is. So. Miyamoto is generally good at knowing how to make games fun. Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people are really, they've kind of try to get hyper fancy about the way that they feel with game opinions. Everything has got to be this work of art that falls, it has to 10 of 10 across the board. Got to have a great soundtrack. It's got to have great story. The graphics have to be perfectly realistic. The controls have to be buttery smooth. Everything kind of, I expect that this thumbstick is going to do this. And it's like, what would happen if somebody tried to bring out a game today with tank controls and do something different with the right thumbstick? What would happen if the whole game's story was, wrapped behind 8-bit graphics? Good example of that, by the way, would be Sweet Home. If you've never played that, fun story, pretty decent story, 8-bit game. Waxworks, 1993, I think, or something, too. Horror soft game. Story, pretty good. Graphics, meh. Not, I mean, beautiful pixel art deaths. Very, very graphic and gruesome. But Good point. Graphics is 100% the lowest for me. Yeah. Yeah, same. Game could still look like the N64 and I wouldn't mind. Neither would I. I mean, I still play Snowboard Kids all the time. I don't care about the fact that this kid's bulbous nose has... It's supposed to be a rounded object and it's got points on it. A hole in the ground that leads to nowhere? Philosophically speaking, how is that possible? Well, I don't think that there is I don't know if there's I don't know if there's a philosophy about a hole that leads to nowhere, because I think if we were talking about a philosophy of a hole that leads to nowhere, we would have to equate it with a we would have to equate it to a we'd have to equate it to like an emotion or an observation, a mental condition, right? It could be, for example, a representation of depression, right? It's a thought process that it stretches on infinitely, but to no progress. But we couldn't physically quantify it. We couldn't physically make that a philosophical statement. We'd have to equate it. Retro's been chasing the white rabbit too much. Alice, what are you doing here? I'm going to hope in the Matrix way. Lewis Carroll was kind of an odd duck when it came to who Alice actually was in his life and his interactions with her. We should all meet up one day, but it has to be in a country where none of us are from. Let's all feel foreign at once. That's that's actually not a bad idea. All right, Ash, you did it. You said it. France it is. You mean Wonderland? Yeah. You still play Snowboard Kids? That's pretty cool. Nice one. Yep, I do. I have Snowboard Kids in complete in box. I play a lot of 64. I play Snowboard Kids and Snowboard Kids 2, Tactics Ogre, Castlevania 64, specifically Legacy of Darkness, Conker's Bad Fur Day. I think I do prefer that one on the Xbox. The controls are better. But they censored a lot of stuff. Pilot Wing 64, GoldenEye, Yeah, you've been to France, but the requisite wasn't a country none of us have been to. It was a country none of us are from. I wouldn't groan at your puns. I like your puns. It was so memorable, I don't remember a thing. I was saying, the requisite wasn't a country that we've not been to. The requisite was a country we're not from. That still meets the criteria, yes? Remember when? Welcome in, Copyright. We were talking about I'd say Ireland, but it's everyday analysis. That's all right. They give you a chance to meet up. I'm glad that this is a manly stream of just men. Oh, hey, Copyright. 21st night of September. Do you remember? Very nice. Some Earth, Wind, and Fire there. Good call. Oh, hi. Just very polite. Well, welcome in. I hope you're having a great day. There can only be one Anna associated. Anna chatted on my live streams. That's wonderful, though. Have you had the opportunity to meet with Anna, or is there just an interest in getting to meet with her? Has that been... as a curiosity? But yeah, we were talking about different games. We were talking about different games, different game makers, different game tropes and things that we had enjoyed, takes that we have on those and the like. And in a lot of cases, we just DM'd, mind you, she's a big Doctor Who fan. We were talking about how the three of us are going to meet up in Amsterdam and take drugs. Well, I don't know about the drugs part, but Meet up in Amsterdam would be fun. That'd be nice. That's a good place too. That wouldn't be a bad place to meet. But yeah, I think a lot of people have kind of gotten spoiled. I'm opining, but I've been to Amsterdam, so that maybe doesn't count if we're not going to play. It's not. I think the requisite wasn't not to go to a place we've already been, but not to go to a place that we are from, according to the original statement. So you can go to the places we can go to the places we've been before, but we're not from. So I'm not from Amsterdam, so even if I've been to Amsterdam, I could go back there because that's the original condition. I've only ever been to France and Wales. I guess my suggestion for Ireland has fallen on deaf... No, that's what I said. I said that would be great. I was asking if that was something, if there was an additional compulsion because of Everyday Anna. I think that's great, though. How do you hear a live chat? I imagine for... Yeah, I'll go to Ireland also. I imagine for... So here's a fun fact about me. I didn't know this until later. Hapes is there too, yeah. I guess you would hear a live chat in the same way you would hear your thoughts. My problem is I don't have an inner monologue. So my understanding, and this came to me late, is that people have the ability to hear voices. Or a voice or voices in their head. Not schizophrenic, but to help them speak through their thoughts, I guess. And I don't have that. I don't hear my thoughts, I guess. Thailand it is. Alright, well. I think my favorite games are Psychonauts 1, Mario Kart Wii, and Banjo-Tooie. Oh, good call. Good call. I like Banjo-Tooie. I do like Banjo-Kazooie better, but Banjo-Tooie is fantastic. A great choice. Like I can hear Retro reading this book in my head. Hey, that's a pretty cool sounding voice. Nice. Well, if you can actually hear my voice reading the book, but I think it's just you hearing me reading this out loud. Banjo-Tooie. I also have a soft spot for the 2001 Semi-RTS Freedom Force. It has good modding community, and I basically grew up on it. Freedom Force is cool. I do know of it. I'd rather you guys not visit England because I don't want to buy you stab vests. I've been stabbed before. It's not that bad. It's not fun. I mean, I wouldn't do it like electively, but eh. I mean, I live in Texas, so you don't usually have to worry about getting stabbed because everybody's got guns. But I want to revisit the UK. I haven't been there since 2014. I prefer Banjo-Tooie over the original for the Metroidvania elements. I'm a sucker for Metroidvania. Yeah, that's fair. I see. That was the thing about it is I could go through Banjo-Kazooie and get 100%. I do it once a year. I've done it on this channel, I think 2 or 3 times. But I play Banjo-Kazooie and I get 100%, right? So I get 900 notes. I get all of the jiggies, like 10 jiggies per, 100 jiggies, I think it is. I believe it's 10 jiggies per world plus 10 jiggies in the overworld plus all of the empty honeycombs, and then I do the witch fight with all of the extra bonus stuff because I did 100% it, and you get an extra cutscene at the end. It's very, very difficult to do that, and it's, in some instances, I think it's frustratingly so. For example, the temple where Dilberta is, and having to go into Glitter Gulch Mine to get Dilberta back to the Prospector to that, or finding out where areas of Hailfire Peaks, for whatever reason, seems to link up with this random area in Pterodactyl Land, you know. Or actually not, Jolly Roger's Lagoon. And then you had Jolly Roger's Lagoon, which was difficult for me because it's an entire water level. But it's not bad. Again, the game is fun. I really love the game. I'm nitpicking, but I absolutely adore Banjo-Tooie. So, like, that's... yeah. Retro often hears my voice. Usually he wakes right up, but I manage to hide back under the bed and he doesn't know. It's just gently slide. I would like Banjo-Tooie Def more than the first game if it weren't for Canary Mary. Yep, yeah. The rubber banding is really difficult. Specifically, they fixed it a little bit on the Xbox version. I will say it's not nearly as bad as it was on the N64. I was able to... It's specifically Canary Mary in the second race of not Click Clockwoods, that's Kazooie, Cloud Cuckoo Land. She's no problem for me in Glitter Gulch Mine. And the first race to get the Jiggy from her, no problem. To get the Cheeto page, forget it. You 100% don't come to me. What if we had spent an afternoon out in London or wherever you prefer, Ash? London, don't insult me. To be fair, some of London is alright. Nice. I've been to London with my family. It was nice. Croydon, where our hotel was inexplicably both trendy and... wow. That's, I mean, that's, it's trendy, but it sucks. We also got undercooked bacon at a pub, and then got food poisoning. Ooh. Well, then I had to catch up with my friends of my brother. We just met up in London before going our separate ways to where we were staying in the UK. I own a pub in Croydon. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bacon. The pub was actually one of on the backside of Jesmond Dean near the big train station. It's a way to describe all of London. It wasn't Croydon where you dropped me off. It wasn't Croydon. Where was it? Aberdeen? Right. That's next to Croydon, isn't it? Doctor Who. But yeah, no, great choices. Great choices, Banjo-Kazooie and the like. I love Banjo-Kazooie. I love Banjo-Tooie. I played the heck out of them. They're one of the games that I play through. They're one of the games that I play through at least once a year. Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie. I have about 5 games I think I play through once a year. That just make me feel good, and that's, I think, a testament to probably firstly the staying power of a good game and the experiences I had with them in those years, and then also just the staying power of a game that is fun to play. I did. I don't know. I have this. This just want to go back and revisit them. I play Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, Donkey Kong Country 3, Super Mario World, KOTOR, and KOTOR 2. So I guess 6 games technically. And because it's May and May the 4th is tomorrow, I've begun playing KOTOR 2, but with all of the restored content. So the stuff that Obsidian had to cut out because they were crushed. Their deadline was crunched down substantially. Fans have gone and worked, I think, with Obsidian, but they've definitely worked to find as much of that content as they could, and they have found much of it. And because of that, we do have, I do have a playthrough of that I want to do. So, I live near where Ozzy is from. That's all you're getting out of me now. I'm closing my curtains. Again, I've been reading the Ozzy Osbourne book, Last Rites. It's great. It is fantastic. Anybody who isn't aware, I am a tremendous Ozzy Osbourne fan. I was actually remarkably deeply saddened by his passing. I mean, it shouldn't. I'm not that way for most celebrities. I don't care. I don't geek out, nerd out, feel, it's just like these are wealthy people but Ozzy was one that hurt. And I think Elton John will also be one that hurts. But it was surprising. And it's surprising too that it's been almost a year, 2 more months and it'll have been a year, and it's like, man. So but I've been reading Last Rites, and it's great. It's so fun. Where Ozzy lives. This is going to be a great 6-game marathon for the stream. I did do that, I think, at one point. I think I did like 8 games where I was showing basically all of the Star Wars games for the Xbox, I think. And so at some point in time, maybe this month, I might do something like that. But for Star Wars, being a big Star Wars fan. I'm sorry if it wasn't clear, but I really enjoyed our trip to London. We actually have a nice tradition of packing half clothes and going to a local laundromat. The locals were friendly. Oh, nice. Friendly locals, you sure you came here? London is an enjoyable place sometimes. I even got a good understanding of the tube. Elton John, top tier gay man right there. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just, so the reason that Elton John is the reason I learned to play piano. Ozzy Osbourne is the reason I learned to play guitar. Ozzy didn't play guitar, but it was his band and his songs that made me want to play guitar. So, I love Elton John. I love Ozzy. And yeah, that's those are the big ones, really. I think, I don't know, Phil Collins is probably up there somewhere too, to be honest. Phil Collins was a huge fan of Land of Confusion and what did he do? Selling England by the Pound, I think, was great. Obviously, he's just done so many great hits that are still really big. So I like to make fun of England. It's all right. It's getting worse, but you could be in worse places. I mean, America is getting worse too, though, to be fair. I mean, everywhere is kind of getting worse. As we see greedier people get greedier, and we see people who aren't supposedly a part of that feeding into it, it's like, I think that's what we're seeing a lot of right now. I think we're seeing a lot of people who are, I'll give you an example of this, and I'm not trying to get political, it's just to put it out there, but we have, in America, we had tariffs. The universe is getting worse. It was a bad move to create it. 42. Our king just visited the U.S., I think. Yes, I believe so. We did these tariffs. We didn't do them. They were executive ordered, and they were the way that they were originally proposed was blocked, is my understanding. And so, as another executive order, I think a 15% markup across the board was basically put in. Okay, so you can't give China 100%, 110% markup. It was that kind of, we'll let him have the 15% or whatever, we can do that. So it's like, all right. The president has said that everybody would get stimulus, basically, from the tariffs. So the idea was there would be an economic stimulus check coming as a result of the tariffs, right? Because the idea was to put money back in the pockets of American citizens and such. And then we find out that those tariff paybacks are supposed to happen this month. And then we find out that those tariff paybacks are actually going to happen not to the individuals, but to the multi-billion-dollar companies. Which would normally make sense if the multi-billion-dollar companies had been maintaining the same rates for Americans while they ordered from where they needed to order from. But the problem is that's not how that worked. American people had markups for shipping. and to pay tariff costs. In the event you buy something from eBay, even from China, you're responsible if there are additional fees. You get informed after the fact, and then you have to pay them. So the payments were basically supposed to go back in the American pockets to make sure they could take care of that. But instead, they're going into the pockets of the companies, which had already marked up their prices to accommodate for the tariffs. So the end user, the people who were paying, paid the extras to cover the tariff costs of the things they needed shipped from other parts of the world. But because that's all that happens. Like if you have a tariff, that all that happens is the place you order it from marks it up, and then the markup is paid. Any markup in the shipping or any penalty in the shipping is paid, by you because there's a markup there. So the consumer is the one that pays any of the extra cost. But they said, no, we're gonna. I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense when you think about it. At least doesn't to me. He insulted Trump, but mostly was a stand-up comic in Congress. 10 out of 10 funniest thing he could have done. Nice. Good to know the king can have a sense of humor. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Well, yeah, wrong king. If the U.S. is that bad, you can live here. My other half might be annoyed getting kicked out of bed, but Retro has to sleep somewhere. It's very nice, but you don't have air conditioner. At the same time, it doesn't get as hot over there as it does over here, so it'd be fine, I guess. Retro was going to live here. I could live there. There's some desert there, though, for sure. I don't know. I could get used to winter being in the mid months. That'd be interesting too. I am the king. I am the king. Elvis inflatable decoy from Eek the cat. Hands off. Eek the cat. I've not thought about that cat in a long time. A long time. Canadian cartoons were so much better than American growing up. Like, wow. I don't even know. Speaking of cats, it's Monday. Where's Garfield? Canada isn't real. What's happening? A lot of nonsense. That's the long and short of it. Speaking of Canada, I've been rewatching a bit of Goosebumps and Animorphs. Oh, nice. Basically, America's committing seppuku. Yeah, true. Oh, that's right. You do. You have the room aircon. You do. I misspoke. My apologies. Yeah, that's it. We're definitely committing some form of suicide, I think. We're not really paying attention to our people, and I think that's the biggest problem. But I think seppuku, maybe I'm wrong on that, but I think seppuku has some form of honor, and I don't necessarily think we're even doing that. I don't think we're doing it in the name of honor. I was wondering, I think, wasn't there another... There's another... I was wondering if there's a different... Because I thought there's a difference between, I think, seppuku and harakiri, but I think they're both honor-based. Let's see if I have a book on that. I think they're both the same. I could be wrong on that, but either which way, it's in both of those cases, the intent is to restore honor. And I don't think we're doing that. I think we're killing ourselves, and all we're getting out of it is the death part, you know? Shall I pretend I'm American and become president? It's that easy, right? Well, I would normally, a couple of years ago I'd have said no, but yeah, probably. Animorphs remind me of the Yeerks, that the Yeerks really hide behind the scene, preparing to do unspeakable things to us humans. Shall I pretend I'm an Earthling and become president of the universe? Not sure if it's easy, though. I should become president, then enrich myself at the expense of the country, and then I too can be mad at windmills. So, there are a couple of problems with that, right? No, number one is that, obviously I know you're being silly on that, but as I say, number one, I'm making a wager that you aren't the appropriate age to become president. I believe you have to be at least 35 to become the president. I believe that's part of the rules. Number 2, if you enrich yourself at the expense of the country, then you're no better than the president we have, which I know is part of the joke. And then the last one, being mad at windmills. That sounds to me like that does sound to me like you're making a nice little reference to Don Quixote. Why windmills? I don't know if that's exactly the case, but it's, to me, that immediately brings out the most prominent of Don Quixote. The madness of it. Again, so obviously I'm taking what you intended to be a bunch of silliness, and I'm being way too serious about it, but yes. How can Windmill Plains from Diddy Kong Racing become a real place? It probably was inspired by a real place. But yeah, it's silly over here. We gotta make it in Europe now. It's such a sad statement. Or Bianco Hills from Mario Sunshine that has windmills. Well, again, I've said this before, but I think one of the, I'll let you all in Europe. It's like, I get it. Like we've talked about this too. We've talked about immigration being a problem everywhere. Everybody's immigrating to every other place. Grass is always greener kind of thing. But one of the things that I think we can say fairly definitively is, should I let you all in Australia? I mean, that's fine too. Sure. Yeah. This is one of the things that I said. So I have a pin. I'd gotten a pin. This, all else aside, Don Quixote is a great book. Oh, it is, absolutely. I figured that was. I figured that was probably what you were referencing. I had gotten a. I prefer Don Corleone. I built a windmill I can't refuse. I don't like that windmill though. It's a giant stomp of the plains. I'm not a fan. I have a pen. I bought a pen for the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. So July 4th, obviously, of 2026. My church's pastor until Christmas was named Don. He retired. Oh. Yeah, I have a person I work with now. New guy named Don. He's pretty nice. He's a pretty nice guy. There's a lot of Dons. I'm not one of them. But anyway, I bought a pen, and the pen is mightier than the sword, but the sword determines who holds the pen. I mean a pin, not a pen. I'm probably saying, I probably did say that. I'm thinking a pin. I had gotten a pin for the 250th anniversary. So again, July 4th, 2026 will be our 250th anniversary. And I don't think we realize that that's nothing. Like, I mean, it's good to be 250 years, but like, I don't think we realize, I don't think the president realizes, I don't think Congress realizes, or many members of it, how little that actually is. Like, it's a thing to be proud of. Yay, we've been around 250 years, but how little that actually is in the grand scheme of almost all of the rest of the world's economies. Yes, there are elements of the world that are younger, right? Countries that are technically younger. Israel as a country, recognized, is quite a lot younger. But what the people are fighting over, how they're fighting over it, the nomenclature, the land, that fight is literally thousands of years old. Yeah, be it Israel versus Palestine or Iran, that's all very old. America, as America is today, is very young. Our conflicts are very young. And we seem to believe we have all the answers anyway. I forgot you do funny Italian accents. I need to write a comedy short for you to start. I do funny accents of all kinds, but sure. Oh, okay, but can you erase pen, though? The pencil is even mightier. You can erase pen, though. Depending on what type of pen. You can erase some pens with a normal eraser. You can erase some pens with a chemical eraser. You can some pens are friction. Some pens are chemical. They make chemical erasers. And some pens can be erased by a specific another pen writing on top of it, basically. So you can. I will admit, I almost considered asking you, Retro, to do a voice for an audio play or something, but I decided not to do that audio play anymore. I would love to, though. It'd be fun. So if you can erase what is written in pencil, does it make it better than the pen? Probably. I would argue that being able to change your mind is much better than being permanent in any stance that you have. So yeah, probably, actually. On one hand, 250 is barely anything in the grand scheme of human history. On the other, it's the second oldest continuous regime after the very turbulent 20th century. That's true, but that's true. But we also have to take under consideration the amount of degradation that we're starting to witness to keep it going as it is. So is the number going up that important if the quality of the people who sustain that number goes down, or the quality of their life, their living? Excuse me. I can't believe how little that actually is. Hey man, you're gonna give me PTSD right here. I told her it was cold. She didn't. I'm talking about historically, but yeah, sure. San Marino is older, if anyone is curious. Yeah. Well, Retro can sing with an accent, I think. He also writes songs with a mighty pen. I do, actually. He also sang my Chipmunk-inspired song for the Retro Room. I didn't really sing it well, but yeah. Witch Doctor low-key holds up IMO. I'm not sure what that is. I did watch Witchfinder General again, though, yesterday. And my goodness, that does hold up. I love that movie. That's such a good movie. It's a disturbing movie. Obviously, it's supposed to be somewhat historical, based upon the actual, Matthew Hopkins. But I was kind of thinking of the allegory of it too. The people that are, the way that we're kind of doing the same thing. We have these people that we put in these escalated areas where they're basically considered, for no good apparent reason, apart from the fact that we like them, they're basically considered to be these big authorities on basically everyone. They kind of outrank everybody in terms of us caring about their opinion. There's no reason for us to care about their opinion, but we do. And we let them do horrible, horrible things in the name of carrying out these supposed holy missions. And you really have these people that at the very end, they're the ones that are willing to stand up and take down the evil, and it's a bloody, gory mess. And then you almost criticize the one that took them down as being the dog and the evil and the unkempt. And it's like, man, what an absolute just eye-opener, I guess. I don't know. But it was, anyway, it was just looking at that and the allegory. Just that absolute ridiculous allegory. It was just crazy. But Soros makes me forget to blink. That's okay though. That's a good problem. It means you're very much in the in the game, suspending disbelief. I told the Witch Doctor. Oh, that, yeah, do the song, yeah. Chipmunks were famous for singing Witch Doctor. Oh, yeah. I had forgotten this. Witchfinder General by Eton Shea. No, it's the who did the film? It's a Vincent Price is the lead in the film. It was trying to think of who directed it. Michael Reeves. But it's a really good film. Don't even blink and wait. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's it. How come no one knows who the Doctor is? No one. Well, who's on first? Who's first? The Doctor. Yes. What in the world is this? I'm first. You? I don't know is on third. No. Who is first? Who's who? You? Oh yes. I don't know is on third. Wait, what is... Wait, who? It's a whole bunch. Everybody decided to do a whole Abbott and Costello bit just there. No, it's if you get a chance, I think it's free to watch on YouTube. I think that's I have the film also, but I believe it's free on YouTube to watch. It's only about an hour and a half, a little under an hour and a half. But if you get a chance, it's a really good film. I'm a big fan of like the Vincent Price, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney Jr. Those things, those movies. Anyone else seen Who's on Stage? The Who's on Stage pastiche from Animaniacs in the 90s? I have not. I am Who Might, and this is You Be. So who might you be? Nice. There's a Who's on First version of Count Duckula, by the way. Oh, I didn't know that. If you get a chance, subscribe to my channel, Big Bear. Okay. Wonder what it's about. Wonder what it's about. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Ash R 1992 YouTube channel. Thanks, guys. Not sure if I can bear that. Oh, don't subscribe to that one. This video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. When you've subscribed to channels, but you don't need people knowing you did. That's funny. All right, let me take a peek here. Yeah, I've talked about this before. I'm a huge fan of those particular actors. So those horror. And so I've been going through and watching a lot of those again, just because why not? Just because why not? They were great. VPN can overcome all of this age verification Reddit nonsense, so I can DM this one first. Not that I've ever... I do use... thankfully, the federal age verification bill seems to... It does, but I live in a state that is... So here, this is where I get frustrated. Is I live in a state where the state wants that, and we even had that as a part. You can do it as a part of a company requirement, and Sony has decided that they're going to move forward with requiring you to send in a picture of yourself so that they can either age identify you or a picture of your ID, which I think is absolutely abhorrent. Again, it's not because I'm getting on things that people shouldn't be getting on. That's number one. If I were, that's none of your business. But even still, I'm not doing that. And you're sitting there saying, well, you need to be of this age to engage with people. Fine. Okay, sure. Because we're watching out for the children. Fine. Again, but they're not your children, right? I have a teenage daughter. I will discern what she can and can't be on. I can make sure that she isn't on things I don't want her on. I can make sure she's on. That's not your business. That's my business. Right? Oh, but we're trying to protect her. That's not your responsibility at that level. Right? By that same measure, if somebody was coming in her general direction, walking up to her, you would have a responsibility then to tackle that person because they could take them down. But it's not probably the case, right? It's one of those kind of Minority Report style conundrums. It's almost a trolley problem of ethics here, where it's like, I'm going to go down this path and I'm going to hit something, and it's going to be a disaster one way or the other. So I have control over which thing I hit. I have control over which thing I damage. But yeah. Let's scoot that over. This video is sponsored by It'll Grow. What do you mean stuck with it? Buy a 4-pack of It'll Grow right now and that's a very unsure thing. Not in Australia, it isn't? Yeah. Well, thank goodness. I'm just going to send them a picture of retro. You'll definitely get past age verification there. I've got gray hair. Not all gray, certainly, but I've got gray streaks in my I have gray streaks in my temples, and I have a gray streak in my beard. So I mean, we'll get through pretty quick. I'm very lucky though, despite me. I'm not a particularly wrinkly individual. I'm very happy about that. But I definitely do have some. I have some very noticeable gray. Why does Persona have to be the name of this age verification? Wait, hold on. Why does Persona have to be the name of this age verification? Give us your photo nonsense rather than the JRPG and Carl Jung discussions. I'll send a picture of Dr. House then. Yeah, you could do that. At least they'll know I'm a genius doctor who's a jerk. I'll send them a photo of Two-Face. That's a good one. See what they get for that. Oh yeah, good one. Yeah. See what they come up with that. Mine is it the animated series, the one from the Dark Knight or something. I'll find a live action one. Maybe Dark Knight, maybe not. Yeah. Those are Two-Face in the Michael Keaton era. Not Michael Keaton, but in the Val Kilmer era, it's Tommy Lee Jones, who I also very much enjoy, but I like him because of his role in The Fugitive. Also a Texan, by the way. Very well educated. I think he's a Harvard-educated Texan. Very proud of him for that. Not that he needs me being proud of him, but still. Well, not necessarily Michael Keaton. The ones after Forever, which I've not seen. Harvey Dent was played by Lando, though. Yeah, in the Keaton ones, yeah, he was played by Billy D. Williams. But then they transitioned over to him being Tommy Lee Jones, and he played Two-Face next to Jim Carrey's Riddler, which was honestly a funny take on the Riddler. It didn't need to be that kind of way. It was more, Joker-esque, but it was good. Only the first two with Keaton, and of course Nolan's trilogy plus Robert's recent one. We saw part of the Robert Pattinson one, I think. Obviously, the original 4 we've seen. The one with Keaton, the 2 with Keaton, excuse me. The one with Val Kilmer, and the one with George Clooney, which is not good, by the way, but there are good. So, fun fact about that, and I've said this before, Michael Gauck is the actor that plays Alfred in the Batman and Robin with George Clooney. Honestly, he is my favorite Alfred. I really like his take on Alfred. He is an older Alfred. He's not the kind of awesome shotgun that shotgun ex-militant that they kind of have made Alfred become in the comic books, I think. But he's a very wise Alfred, and he uses his mind very well, and is very, and it turns out that he played Arthur Holmwood in with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing in the Hammer Dracula film, which is really good. But you get to see young him, and young him was awesome in that also. I have gray because my family generally goes gray early. No clue why. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And again, based off of the loose conversation, without giving any sort of information, specific information away, I'm led to believe I'm quite a bit older than you too. So, same situation. We have gray hair a little early, but I didn't actually start getting it super early on. I started kind of getting it later than we normally get it in the family, and now I've got quite a bit of it. That's okay, though. I'm normally blonde-headed, so I didn't expect there's a lot of melanin that needed to be taken away to make my hair translucent. Tommy Lee Jones, I remember now. He did erase my memory a lot, though. Dang, Men in Black. Yep. I like the story Jim Carrey tells of how Tommy Lee Jones didn't really like him. I like Batman. Yeah, I do too. That one's not bad. Batman and Robin is the one that's not very good. I still will watch it though as a guilty watch. I love the campiness of it, but yeah, he says I cannot. If I remember correctly, he meets him in a restaurant. Says I cannot sanction your buffoonery. It was just this, which of course Jim Carrey is someone who is manic depressant, so I'm sure it was just his mania. But I think Tommy Lee Jones was looking at it in a different way. It's, you know, loud and obtrusive and obnoxious to people that are trying to be a little bit more. And in Two-Face, I think he has to be. There's also kind of an evidence now looking at it for what we know now. We know that Jim Carrey has a tendency to go method sometimes, and so there's a good possibility that method bled into the actual real life relationship, because we know that that's what he did when he played Andy Kaufman. We know that he went very method, and it was very difficult. So there's no telling as to whether or not the Riddler character bled into Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey went method, and Tommy Lee Jones wasn't keen on that. And I got to be honest. I mean, if you go method to the point of where it's kind of obstructs the relationship that I have, I'm not gonna be a big fan of you either. Like, just I get it, you want to be a method actor, but let's talk about that, and then you and I don't interact outside of it, because if I'm not method acting, then, you know. Tommy Lee Jones looked displeased when Beavis and Butthead did an Oscars thing on stage. He may come across as a bit too serious guy. Then that's true. He very probably could be. He very probably could be too serious. Also, that's a good point. Either of those, right? Jim Carrey could definitely play a great serious Riddler too. Yeah, I think we've seen out of the Riddler that we've seen I think the Riddler that we've seen in most of the modern stuff is a very good cross between the serious and the not so serious, and I think he's pretty good about that. TLJ's a generational talent. Oh yeah. Again, he's a Harvard-educated Texan. If I had to pick one movie with him that really I love just all the way around, and part of it's because it has actors other than him that I love in it, and part of it's because I think it's just a good movie, and part of it's because of his performance specifically. It's The Fugitive. It's Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones basically versus each other. And for anybody who's not seen The Fugitive, it came out in 1993. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just going to tell you the premise. Premise is basically that Harrison Ford is a doctor, his wife is a doctor, and his wife is killed. And it's assumed that he did it, and he has to escape the law while proving his innocence and hopefully someone else's guilt. Really good movie if you've not seen it, but I think 93 is when that came out. Very, very, very good movie, though. Harrison Ford was on a roll in the late 80s, early 90s. He was The Witness, Air Force One, Clear and Present Danger, Patriot Games, The Fugitive, Indiana Jones, of course, Star Wars in the early 80s. I mean, obviously 79, but I mean, he was on a roll. Those are some fantastic movies and some fantastic. But yeah, and he played. He played with Sean Bean, Willem Dafoe, Tommy Lee Jones, Gary Oldman. Who else am I trying to? I mean, just a ton of. I cannot think of the guy's name right now. The guy that in Breaking Bad would go on to play Tuco Salamanca. He played alongside with a very young him. I think Clooney could have been a good Batman, especially Bruce. If it was just, no, I completely agree. I think Clooney would have been a great Batman and Bruce, right? But the writing was terrible. It was trying to do. So here's the thing. I think it was trying to do the Adam West campy, and it just didn't hit at all. Right? Because you had the Adam West campy ones, and you had a campy, like they had, again, going back to Vincent Price, he played Egghead. Like there's nothing to be taken seriously about that, but it was campy, and it was, some days you just can't get rid of a bomb, and those kinds of things. It's like, of course it's intended to be that, but this modern day one was trying to kind of be taken seriously with the Uma Thurman, I don't know. The Poison Ivy thing was supposed to be kind of serious. Mr. Freeze was supposed to be kind of serious because obviously Mr. Freeze is probably my favorite of the Rogues Gallery, because I can absolutely understand his reasonings. But anyway, I think Retro sings a song and then erases our memory, Men in Black style, so we forget that happens. Yeah, probably. If it was up to me, John Hamm would be Batman. That's good casting. That's very good casting. I think he would be good. Retro is legally blonde. I don't know if it's legal or not, but I don't particularly. I'm blonde-headed, blue-eyed. Yeah. Jim Carrey was method acting as Robotnik. I don't know. I know that there are elements that he takes about his acting portion out into his real life. It's obviously going to be easier to do that when you're playing a real life person than when you're playing a fictitious character. But if there are elements that are obtrusive that seep through, it doesn't really matter, right? If you, like, for example, if he takes, I think in the Robotnik roles, he's kind of known to be this kind of cocky jerk, and, so he might take that element with him. I think so. I remember a story about it. I'm not a method actor. I just don't go around the studio scratching myself. Harrison Ford is the Doctor. He's not the Doctor, but he is a Doctor. Dr. Richard Kimball. Sans is Ness. And now I'm confused. Go watch The Fugitive if you haven't. Oh, absolutely watch that. Sean Bean died again. I'm assuming you're referencing GoldenEye. My favorite Sean Bean role. Let me look. It's just a compilation of all of the times he said it. That's funny. That's funny. First, Sean Bean title alone makes you think Game of Thrones nice. Is there an illegally blonde? Nah, probably not. Maybe. Oh, it's Mikey. By the way, hi, Mikey. Hello, people. People can't tell if the stream has yet to start or is near ending. It's started. We're just in the conversation part. I'll move into the game here in just a second. Not just GoldenEye, mind his character didn't die in Silent Hill. Yeah, he is famous for playing characters that have a tendency to die, even in Equilibrium with Christian Bale, which was also an interesting movie. Didn't take long, right? Taking 110 minutes to start. Retro is slower than the Pokemon named Slowpoke. I've started. It's just we haven't started the game. But I like to talk with everybody. Love Sean Bean. Me too. I do too. He's the main baddie in Patriot games. That was the... he's the main bad guy, obviously, in a lot of things, right? He's the main bad guy in National Treasure. He's the main bad guy in GoldenEye. He's the main bad guy in Patriot games. So he plays a bad guy really well. He plays a character that dies a lot really well. But yeah. Sean Bean is the guy who played Ned Stark, right? I haven't seen Game of Thrones. I've read them, but I haven't seen them. Ned Stark is the neighbor in Simpsons. Sean played Ned Flanders. Nice. He made Game of Thrones bearable, not going to lie. I can't get through the books. The books are, again, I agree, the books can be a bit of a slog. If you want that style of writing, but you want a better, you want it better, The Witcher books, I'm dead serious. They are absolutely better. It's not Game of Thrones books are the Song of Ice and Fire, or the books that are the Song of Ice and Fire storyline. Really good, but there's just a lot that drags it down, in my opinion. And the Witcher novels, I think, are better in their pacing. And I think that you care about the characters more quickly. You're not having to hyper focus on a ton of them. It's just, yeah. Sounds like the book. Good acting made it all the better. Yeah. The prose is good. So yeah, people said the Game of Thrones are almost as more mature rated than the books. Well, the show is supposedly that they said that in times where they couldn't reflect on, when they couldn't make a visual, a part of the show that would reflect what the books had going on in them, that they would just add nudity and sexual content, because it would fill the screen, but it wouldn't drop the attention of your average viewer. So it was kind of a clever way of saying, I can't think of how I'm going to make the story work, so I'm going to put some sort of a sex scene in here. And then the sex scene keeps the attentions up, but it doesn't require really substance. It just requires you to show naked people doing naked people things. So. Especially when Danny gets married to the Dothraki. Yeah. Yep. I tend to prefer minutia and dry delivery of characters so I can understand the motivations of A Song of Ice and Fire is neither. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. In the book, I think she consented. Sure. My personal opinion is that The Witcher does that, what Game of Thrones attempted to do, but I think they did it better. That's my personal opinion. I could be completely wrong, but that is my personal opinion. So I'm decorating within the next 2 weeks. That's what, and why that excites me is that after it's done, the channel is being made finally. I am excited about this, Ash. And I know that the decorating I can't really probably be much help with, but if you need help with anything, and I'm dead serious when I say that, anything that it is possible for me to help with, please let me know. Because for anybody, I'm going to say this, for anybody who doesn't know, Ash has had a channel before. It had content. It was fun content. It was funny. It was just him talking about whatever he wanted to talk about, what game he liked, what thing he thought about this. It was just, I thought it was great. So I'm excited to see just what you're passionate about. I don't care how it makes itself manifest, so long as it is what you are passionate about. I am super excited to see that. Game of Thrones, etc., does have interesting philosophy on occasion. Least of all, the riddle that Tyrion and Varys discussed. My philosophy section on Discord. Yeah. There are definitely pieces, and there are characters that are great too. And I mean, like, I would be completely remiss to say that there is nothing in Game of Thrones to be found of fun or utility for the average reader. I just think there are books that do it better, and I think a lot of people don't do that. The Witcher is better than Game of Thrones. In my personal opinion, yes. By my estimation, as someone who has read them, I thoroughly enjoy The Witcher better. I think, to me personally, I put The Witcher pretty close to Tolkien. I don't compare The Witcher to Game of Thrones in my mind. I do it outside because I think a lot of people do have those two things, but I would put The Witcher closer to Lord of the Rings than I would Game of Thrones, if that's any indication of how how great and well realized and impactful I think that the world of it is. Need help with anything? Cool, man. I have some. I'll have a spare laptop and a mic. Thanks. If that's what you need. I think I know I have I think I've offered it to you before. I'm pretty sure I've got a spare mic, and I think I've got a spare interface. I'm not sure about the laptop, but I can get you the mic and the interface if you need them. I'm pretty sure I've offered that before, and I'm dead serious. If you need it, I'll dig through. I'm pretty sure I've got some stuff you can have. It's just in my mic locker, and it's not being used by anybody anyway. First video by Ash. Witcher, is it better than Game of Thrones? That'll get the views. Yeah, I mean, if he wants to do that, like I said, I want to see, you know, I want to see what Ash wants to put out. I don't care. I don't have an expectation. My ask, this is my only ask, or the only ask that I'd have is just do what you want. I don't, like, I'm not going to be disappointed if I see him put a video out about a game that I haven't played yet, because I've watched Ash's stuff. I enjoy it. So I'm going to understand more about it than when I walked in. Even if I haven't played that game or don't have a connection with it, I will have one walking out at some point, even if it's just that video. So I'm excited about it. Wholesome interpersonal connection. I don't know. I mean, this is the really interesting thing. We've kind of had this conversation before, and we talk about how Fighting Max made a point about this too, that there's, you know, all of these relationships that are had on the internet are these kind of parasocial relationships, and obviously there's truth to that, right? There is truth to that. There is this limiting factor that prevents us from knowing the entirety of everybody that we interact with on the internet, but. And part of that's for our own safety, and part of that's for... But there are also people that have been on this channel that I have spoken with for so long and have shared much of myself, and they've shared much with me, that I do consider friends in the same way that I would consider a pen pal a friend. You know, I had pen pals 30 plus years ago, and I considered them friends until we didn't talk anymore because of a change in address or something happened and it was different because it was post. There was no computer. This stuff wasn't here. But I considered them friends because you had that moment to sit down and take time out of the day and to write and to read and to speak and to, you know, I don't think that this is less than that. I think that we can get overwhelmed, but I don't think that this is less than that. And so while I admit that there is some level of parasocial to it, I don't think that limits the fact that you can find an actual friend here, that you can actually have a friend that is online predominantly and over the phone. I don't think that there's any reason that can't be the case. I've had this conversation, I think, with Thumb also, and I think several of the people I've spoken with may think differently, and that's okay too. But that's my personal opinion. I will tell you who I am on this channel is as much me as it can be. Like, my opinion isn't different when I get off of the microphone. I don't change my opinions on these things unless I have that compelling evidence we've talked about. So, but that's just me. I need to see something really quickly. I guess it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Okay, sorry about that. I had to double check and make sure all my stuff was set up the way I needed it to be, or otherwise I was going to be in trouble. Are there other fantasy IPs that also rank close to Tolkien's work? Maybe Foundation? maybe the Foundation series. I don't put, a lot of people I think put Frank Herbert's Dune up there. I don't personally put that up there, and it's weird to put the Foundation series up there also. I get that. Just because in a lot of instances we're talking about this kind of science fiction element, science fantasy to it. I mean, I would also argue if we were, but if we Star Wars, actually, I think Star Wars goes there too. I think Star Wars goes there because I don't think Star Wars is just science fiction. I think it is science fantasy. I was talking with about 600 Ewoks the other day. That's actually the username, by the way. For anybody who doesn't know, which I think is great. Great friend of mine, huge Star Wars fan, infinitely knowledgeable individual, both in life and in leisure. And in this particular part, he knows about as much, if not more, than I do of Star Wars. Perhaps very much. Sorry. Knows perhaps as much as, knows perhaps more, if not at least as much as. There we go. That's what I mean to say. I was talking with him about this the other day, and he brought it to my attention too that this is absolutely it's very akin to Arthurian legend, and Arthurian legend is fantasy. So I was like, yeah, and so for anybody who's, for example, read like Le Morte d'Arthur by Sir Thomas Malory, you'll see a lot of themes in that, but then you also have little shifts here and there. It's really, really nice. So anyway, I know you've offered them to me, which it's dead serious though. If you do need them, let me know, Ash. I mean it. If you need it, let me know. I'll send some your way. I will. Just to kind of give me what your idea is, and I'll see what I've got and send it to you. I can send you some pictures and everything, whatever you need. I'm pretty sure. I was rewatching a Retro Room stream about parasocial connections, and all I did say was mine. It does have great lore as well. A Song of Ice and Fire, surely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, good. Does have great lore. I think there's a fantasy series by Raymond E. called Magician. There are two books. He has two books that I've read of that. Both Apprentice and Magician, which are in the same series. I have paperbacks of those. But I don't know if there are more. Is it? I don't know what all books. Is it? It's Raymond Feist. Goodness, couldn't think of it. But he wrote one that was called. It was the Magician. It was Master and Apprentice is what it was. There we go. And those, and they're pretty cool. Those are pretty cool. That's been out for a minute though. I think that came out like. Dang, I don't even remember how long ago that came out. I've had that book. I think I've had those books since at least the 90s, and I think at that point they had been out for several years still. But those are pretty good. I don't think they're. I don't know if they're that good. Even Deathgate, which we're playing now, based on the 7 or so novels that came out of it, which were Tracy Hickman and Margaret Weiss. Those are great, and they wrote Shannara. And I think those are all wonderful. I don't necessarily know if I put them on Tolkien level. As much music can be. That's a good way of putting it, at least with being open, but not that open. Well, I don't... What I mean is my opinions are me, my voice is me, what I'm telling you is me, but I'm not... Not everybody knows my name and my age and where I am and what... not everybody knows that. Not everybody knows the names of my family members. That's just being safe. It's not because I don't trust you guys. It's because this goes up on the internet and anybody can see it and use it. So I don't do that. I don't want that. That's why I operate under the pseudonym. But as far as what my opinions are and how I speak and what I think and whether or not I'm articulate or intelligent or all of those things, what you're seeing here is a pretty good indication because it's much the way I would talk to you if we were talking face to face. And so you can discern pretty well at least what kind of a person I am, even if not specifically laying your finger on who I am. I'm the Retro Room. I'm just someone trying to make a space that we can all talk candidly without devolving into absolute bloodshed. I feel like this is a discussion room. I'm like a big Joseph Anderson fan, but I don't delude myself into thinking I know him to any extent. I think I know y'all at this point, if not that well. Imagine if I start talking on my new channel and I'm really French. Oh, bonjour. Comment ça va? Comment ça va? Ça va bien. I don't speak German, mate. There goes the baker with his tray like always. Oh, you know what? I know what that is. That's Beauty and the Beast, I think. I will say this. If my channel becomes successful, I will still say hello to you all at least once every year. Just double checked. I've read Magician by Raymond E. Feist. Yep. Part of the Rift War cycle. Okay. That's a ton of Ewoks. Yeah, it's a very clever username. Slept on Sci-Fi, The Human X Commonwealth. Very good stuff, in my opinion. Okay, I'll take a look at that. That's a good recommendation. I don't necessarily mind Ewoks in SW6, Star Wars 6. A lot of people didn't seem to like them. I don't like them. Retro's a magician, confirmed? Yeah, actually, but not maybe in the same way that people... Not really. I'm more of a card cheat, but, you know, I don't know if I'm like... Oh, I did say this. I said once I get to the age where I'm a really old... I'm a guy already that's, you know, long hair and beard and all that, but I did think that it would be funny to, when I get older, just dress up in the blue, like, stereotypical wizard robe, and then just go sit at, like, a public mall or park and read a book, and just see if anybody comes up to it. Kind of like the wizards you see in the show, not the show, in the visual right now. And then just see how many people come up and what they say. What's the opinion on Wheel of Time? I hear a lot about it, but I haven't read it. I haven't either. I've heard a lot about it too, but I've not read it. I'm not a great fan of novels that involve time. That's really, and I know that seems silly, but that's really it. I avoid those a lot. But I easily get it mixed up with the Wrinkle in Time. Retro, trust me, I know those things. That's why I'm paid the big mod box. I don't trust me, I know those things. I also trust you, Ash. You won't destroy my house, I don't think. Probably not. That's wholesome. That's as good of an interaction as we're probably gonna get. I also trust the universe, even though it is being created. Even though being created was a bad move. It was, but we're here because of it, right? I hear Ash is pretty strong, so I don't know. As long as you're not French. I can lift 2 bags full of food at once. I know. Why, a few chats ago did I call Wheel of Time's movies instead of books? Guy, I'm not. It's all right. It's all right. We knew what you meant. I'm not French. I just play one on TV. I mean, you could give it a shot. I mean, I said novels instead of novels. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Again, we get it. I'm not going to be a pedant when it comes to the typings of, yeah, we know what you mean. If I don't know what you mean, I'll read it the way that it is said, and then I'll go, wait a minute, what? But I think we got it. I almost rewatched the French movie Emile. Or Emily, I guess. But I watched Hokum instead. Retro, how can you be a doctor and not be a fan of time? Well, the reason that a doctor can be a fan of time is because a doctor is generally fairly disaffected by time. I mean, they're the fastest process of reincarnation. But aging doesn't work quite the same, or doesn't seem to work quite the same way for them as it does us, and there's a guarantee of rebirth with some memory loss, whereas with us, there's no guarantee, because I have no idea. I have not seen a single founding father that I know to have been reincarnated. There are a lot of wise people that I believe, and I have not seen a single Teddy Roosevelt, a person that I would believe Teddy Roosevelt had reincarnated as. Me and Retro love time. It definitely doesn't bother us. No, that's bull. I mean, if you've gotten over yours, that's fine, but not me. Time is my favorite flavor. It is. I enjoy it a lot if it's spelled with an H and a Y, but with an I, nope. Do you take Retro and Ash? Time? Do you take Retro and Ash to be your lawfully what? He's married and I'm not time sexual. Time sexuals come on. What if philosophers reincarnated? I mean, maybe it's possible. Maybe it's possible that they are reincarnated, but we don't recognize them. We don't see a lot of grand thinkers any longer, and we don't see any people who are terribly public in their grand thinkings, I think. Also, I don't even know what a time sexual would be. I don't even know how that would work. So, I mean, they can come out of the wherever. There's no need to hide, obviously. I'm not going to judge. I just don't understand it. I'm going to be very clear on that, so. Is it somebody who's just romantically, has romantic dealings or thoughts with time? Because I guess technically isn't all romance time-based? Seizing a moment? We enrich our polyamorous just because I'm ugly. Something big stick. Maybe I'm Teddy. Time doesn't know you're polyamorous. If you're polyamorous, it might though, because remember, time is not one thing. Time is all of the things that are happening in a direction. So technically, in order to be, I guess, time's attracted to time or time sexual, wouldn't you have to be polyamorous by very virtue of what time is? Like, you would have to be able to love multiple seconds, and that would automatically mean that you were polyamorous, because it wouldn't be dedicated to a single one. But does time know if we're going forward or backward? I think time knows the direction in which we all move. I tried to date time, but the date timed out. Isn't that interesting that to date time, you have to know time and date? At any rate, interesting. I think it might be time to move over to the game. Oh, hold on. I'm just making sure to respond to my wife. The time that's changing all the time, it's time to got to time. DHMIS2. So it's time for the time that is the time to begin retro stream properly on time, if we're on time for that time. Good lord. Are you going to stream Deathscape, Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Time? Yes, I am. Let's see. Here. There we go. Okay. All right, let's see if I can get everything situated. So we're going to go and fade the music out. then I have to... It's always a... That's the only thing. I wish I had buttons or hotkeys of some sort to try and do this a little bit better. And maybe you forget. I call upon the 4 dimensions, north, left, forward, and time. Those are the 4 dimensions. North, left, forward, and time. I mean, you know what's funny, though, is that even though that doesn't encapsulate the entirety, those are actually the right... I mean, that's clever. I mean, I guess technically, 1 dimension is a point, right? It can't go in a direction, but those actually are representative of the... That's clever. That was clever. Congratulations. I mean, like, that's a hand clap. I don't know if you can hear it, but that's a hand clap, because that actually, in addition to that, is illustrative of the dimensions, right? Time 4, forward being 3-dimensionality, north and left being indicative of 2-dimensionality. And then, of course, I guess technically, if you wanted to do the first dimension, you would say here. I guess so, here, left, forward in time, and that would be that. Anyway, that's well done. You know, I like this channel because I don't like people yet. Yet I'm here in this stream. I'm sorry. Have you ever thought what it's like to be wonders in the 4th dimension? Have you? To be exiles? We are wonders technically in the 4th dimension because we are measured as a point in time. So in order to get this, I always have to remember how to do this. So I have to move this over here so I can see that, and then I have to change the audio input so that I can hear it to this. And then I have to do that so I don't just get flooded with music. And then I change this to this, I think. And I take one earpiece out so I can hear myself. Okay. Okay. Still very loud, so let me turn it down in my ears. Okay. And then I think it's this button. I think that's the right button the first time this time. Look at that. I did it. All right. Thanks for the space-time joke, hand clap. That was good. That was well done. They don't call her clever copyright for nothing. Yeah, I mean, that was very clever. Admittedly, that was very clever. So how else would I be able to hear them in Australia? I was also applauding that, but I had my hands full, so it's just... Well, that's pretty funny. Yeah, all right. It's okay. One can clap with I guess so. An orthonormal basis is, I believe, north-south, towards away from the sun, tangent to orbit time. Sure. Ash has the best jokey with. I mean, that was pretty good too. Copyright is clever. Ash has is funny or makes retro laugh. What about me? I laugh. You engage. You're the philosopher. Are you kidding, Viddy? You're the doctor, but you're also the philosopher. You're the one that comes in and asks for brain tickles and asks great questions that we end up having to think about pretty deeply. Okay. You're straying. Okay, when we last left off, we came back and we talked to Czar, and we need to go to the last place. These are our rune bones, by the way. We need to go to our last place. We have the last... hold on one second. One of the 4 horsemen. That's important. Now stay behind me. This line depends on class. Okay. So we came in here, we went to the world, we told him about things. He seemed very unhappy about the Sartans, and then we've got the entire world seal now, so we are to go to the last place. Can we have the dog? Dog isn't mine to give. Oh, can I have the dog? The dog isn't going anywhere he doesn't want to go. Unless he wants to go. Okay, he isn't going there unless he wants. Okay, fine. Labyrinth's still here, right? Yep. Just looking at the gate gives you chills. The labyrinth beyond calls to you, inviting you back to its cold embrace. All at once is one more shot at taking your life. Alright. Back to the ship it is then, and I believe we've already imprinted our last place, so we're leaving. Yeah, that is true. We did used to say that was the way we did it. It was the horseman. That was what my mods were called, were the horsemen. Where's Thumb? Yeah, I know. He's been busy though, and it's no worries. There's never pressure to be here, even as a mod. There's no pressure. Four horsemen. Yeah, no. It was. Oh no! I'm not the fourth horseman. It's Ash, Thumb, Uvidi, and Omega are the 4 horsemen. There should be more than 4 qualifier to include copyright and many more. I'm not a full horseman, just a stable caddy. Upon leaving the Death Gate, your ship is surrounded by water. A light from an underwater sun glints off the crystalline domes of orbiting moons. Underneath the nearest, you see an entrance, so you guide your ship inside. I love this little dragon, his big feet, and he's like, yeah. He's just a fun little guy.
My job is to carry the side and look over here to the left.
Alright, you do that. Thank you. Okay. So we'll come over here. Your ship has landed on a beach which rises to a dark cave in the rock wall. A shimmering city lies to the west. You notice that the stone you're holding has started to glow a faint green. It also tingles a bit in your hand. And remember, we do know that this stone is supposed to indicate when we are close to true evil or the evil of the wave. Omega Hans Moleman Productions presents Man Getting Hit by Football. You've heard of the Magnificent Seven? We're called the Average Five. Well, that averages to something. That's true. Let's see. Let's look at the cave. You see huge, sinuous tracks leading in and out of the cave's mouth. Some debris, including a bone or two, lies strewn among the tracks. Okay, can I go there? You walk towards the cave, but as you get closer, you begin to feel fear gnaw at your insides. You felt fear before, in the labyrinth, but nothing like this. There's nothing around to inspire such terror, but every step you take towards the cave makes you want to claw your eyes out. Before you're halfway there, you've collapsed on the ground. Magic, you reason. It must be magic. Though seemingly a small self-contained lake, you know from your travels that it empties into the sea that envelops the entire world of Chalestra. Okay, where can we go? Oh, this is pretty. A thick wall surrounds a city-sized glowing dome. In front looms a gate upon whose door is a huge graven spell. You get the distinct impression that you are being watched. Probably am. Okay, where else can I go? Back into the ship, I guess? Okay, yep. Okay, so let's go over to this wall. Let's see. Not sure if intentional, but the zoom-out artworks in this game makes it look similar to Hyperbolica. The game's set in a 3D hyperbolic space. That's interesting. I don't even know if I know that game. BRB, I actually need my toast. No worries. Be right back. I ate Vinny's toast. He's gonna go mental. Ash has a portal to Kangaroo Land. That sounds... Kangaroo Land, as it... I mean, I know it sounds simple, but the way it looks on there looks like it should be in Banjo 3E. Which will never come out, by the way. I have portals to everywhere. Okay, so let's take a peek at this city gate. A smooth block divides the wall surrounding the city. A rune structure has been carved on its surface. What if I... This is clearly a protection spell. Yep. You recognize the spell from Balthazar's book. It is a warding spell designed to keep... Oops. Designed to keep out foreign magic. Unfortunately, it also keeps everything else out, including you. But what if I transferred a rune on here? I have an idea. All I need to do is make it a spell that isn't a spell. So if I used rune transfer, hold on. If I used rune transfer, okay, can I do it with... Let me transfer something. Let's try this. I think I have to do it a different way around, because if I transferred a rune into that spell that wasn't a part of that spell, then that spell would be useless, right? The magic of the ward... Okay, hold on. The magic of the ward resists your spell. While it's possible to modify one spell into another by adding on another rune, the addition of this rune would change the ward spell into nonsense. Oh, so I have to change it into something that is something but isn't that. Okay, so wait a minute. Hold on. I'm gonna grab my notepad real quick. Because I think this might be clever. The spell is something like this. So I need to take this spell and make it into a spell. Let me look at my spells. I need that spell to look like another spell. Let's see. That doesn't do it. F in chat for Banjo 3 would have probably been semi-okay and commercially successful. Yeah, true. Platformers have been back for a while now. Banjo would work perfectly. Well, yeah, I agree. Give it to Playtonic. I absolutely give it to Playtonic. They've done great. Toys for Bob and Playtonic, yes. A Hat in Time famously was heavily inspired by Banjo. Yep. Banjo 3 or Banjo-Kazooie 3. Oh, that would be a good name for it. Checking Toast Grommet. Say, don't forget the crackers, except I'm all out of Wensleydale cheese. You know what's funny about that? I think this is something everybody knows at this point, but that cheese factory, I believe it was actually a cheese factory, like a real life one, and they liked the way that he said that it would made the character's lips and mouth and teeth look when he said it. And that movie apparently then had everybody figuring out whether or not it was the actual cheese factory, and it increased business so much it saved them from going out of business. Not sure if I can make a joke out of this, so I'll just be boring and point out Grunty says 3E explicitly and B2E kickabout. Yeah, at the very, very end, but obviously it didn't come out, so it's like, I kind of wonder if they were doing that just to be silly. You'll be sorry. Yeah, just wait till Benji. Yeah. Yeah, she says it at the very end when you're kicking her head around after the Hag 1 fight, though. It was an odd challenge on Video Plays. Yep. It was fun to watch, though, I thought. Okay, I'm sorry. That's Shroud of Darkness. Swap. I need a spell that looks close to the one I just wrote down. Motion? What if hold on, can I build it myself? Hold on, let me reset. Can I build the spell myself? So I know the left part of the spell. Just want to see if it lets me do it. That. Okay, it starts at the bottom. Let me see. Okay, I see. So it starts at the bottom and then moves. Okay. So let me reset. So at the bottom would be this guy. And then it has... The right-hand side is... this. The top is it's like a little diamond kind of looking rune, I guess. Do I have that rune? Something kind of like this, but it doesn't look quite right. Let me try it. See if that may just be it. And then it's got this thing like this. Okay, so that is the ward spell. Now, what if I add another rune to it? So I could just go through and add a rune until I figure out which one of these runes makes it something that it isn't. I'm wondering, do I have a spell that does that? See, notice it says magic. Notice when it's an actual spell, it does this. Last time I replayed 2 is an odd challenge. Okay, yeah. Well, they were thinking ahead. True. Unironically a good choice. By the way, when you're in CC, look down. There's a full accurate map of where everything is, including that HFP next to JRG. So Cloud Cuckoo Land, look down. There's a full and accurate map of where everything is, including that Hailfire Peaks is right next to Jolly Roger's Lagoon. Gotcha. Okay. visible above that level. Great detail. It's also similar to the background details in Conker's Bad Fur Day. The geography thing Retro had trouble with is actually all answered by the CC fall plane image. Well, it's not. I mean, I understand some of it, but it's like there are hidden tunnels in a lot of instances that you can't see from the topography, right? It's like you have to swim in this particular canal to understand. Like, I know Hellfire Peaks would be connected, but in what way is it connected? Like, I have to have water of a particular type go through, or, you know. It's that kind of thing. Like, I get the overall, but it's just how they interweave that I had trouble with. Like, it's the how specifically. See, some of these don't connect, so let me see which ones would connect. This would... It needs to be something coming out of the top. So let's try ones... I know where I am here. Let's try this one. Yep. Alright, so do I have a room... I think we might have a rune that looks like that I can cast, which would then make a possession spell. Yep, I think this is it. So if I do magic on the rune bone, I'm going to do spell rune transfer, cast that on this, that'll turn it into a possession spell, which means it won't be a ward spell anymore. You transfer the symbol from the rune bone onto the city gate. Immediately the rune appears at the end of the spell, modifying it from a powerful ward into a possession spell. Since the possession spell has none of the qualities of a warding spell, indeed is a very useless spell to place upon a city gate, the magic dome falls away to reveal the glistening capital city of the Sartan. The sight takes your breath away. You find it very hard to regain your lost breath as you are struck by a wave of terror. All the glimmerings you've experienced before this are nothing compared to the fear that grips you. You've never, ever been so afraid. The sheer emotional impact throws you to your knees. Blood rushes in your ear. A shriek emerges from the depths of your being. In the labyrinth, you always used to fear your advantage. It made you quick, or you always used fear to your fear to advantage. There we go. Yeah. It made you quicker, smarter. This fear is unreasoning. You can't control it. You can't use it. You don't even know what's causing it. Wild-eyed, you almost break your neck swinging your head around trying to spy the source. It isn't long in coming. A black taloned claw strikes your back and sends you sprawling into the sand. You twist around but cannot rise. You stare into the blood-red eyes of a dragon. They show you your death, and you can but gibber in response. Clever puzzle. This game does have really good clever puzzles. I guess it really helped me personally when I saw Exempli Gratia, that Grati Industries is right across the mountains from Jolly Roger's Lagoon. Oh, yeah, fair enough. It goes swimmingly. Dragons, how very fantasy IP. Yep, this is Sang Drax, if I remember correctly. No, I mean, it's a good point. It is a really good point. Maybe it is that I haven't looked at that long enough or well enough. It's very probable that that's just the case. Dragons are my favorite subconscious human cross-cultural fear. The dragon's voice is as black and oily as his scaled skin. Yeah, I love the artwork. His head swings up to stare at the city. You find that words completely fail you. You lie helpless, trembling under the claw of this dragon. He rears back, inhaling. Flames leak from his nose and mouth. When he appears about ready to loose his fiery blast, something catches his eye. Immediately, he curtails his attack to stare at the brightly glowing stone that Zifnab gave you.
What is this? This wasn't made by you need more magic jewels. How did you come by it?
So it seems like that the originally useless rock that we thought was just a useless rock that Zifnab gave us is not only not just a rock, but it's magic more powerful than the rune magic that we use apparently. You can't even form the first word of an answer, and it seems that this dragon doesn't really expect one. His other foreclaw reaches out and delicately removes the stone from your possession. He draws the stone up to his eye for closer inspection. In reaction, he hisses and roars and waves his neck back and forth, wildly, sinuously, spouting flame everywhere.
This should not exist. It is impossible. There is only me, Sandrax. I am the way. Don't find a belief in this stone, do you? You will certainly have no need shortly.
His eyes narrow and fix on you once again. When he speaks, his voice is more controlled. He tosses the stone away. It falls on a pile of rocks, of similar shape and size. The only way you can distinguish it from the others is by its shine, which is like the sun. Suddenly, you take notice of a furry form splayed on the ground. You realize that your dog has been silently crawling towards you on its belly, braving the aura of fear that keeps you helpless. Every inch is a struggle, and it seems that at any second the dog will bolt, but it keeps coming. When it gets near, a quiet whimper escapes its throat, barely audible, but loud enough to attract the attention of the dragon.
This is your rescue. A life form lower than yourself. I will admit this. The dog is certainly braver than you, patron.
The dragon rears back and fills the cavern with laughter. This gives the dog just enough time to crawl within reach. It looks at you plaintively, even puts its muzzle into your outstretched hand. Plaintively is what I meant to say, not plaintively. Plaintively.
Perhaps the dog is wishing for fun and well. It knows what is about to happen.
How do you know that it shouldn't exist? How does something like that exist? Because he's the other remember, that's the good of the wave. And so we shouldn't have the ability to do that. How does this fit into rock? Doggy has it fit into rock, paper, scissors. Rock is strongest, apparently. Dragon loses to rock, yeah. The dragon rears back again. You assume that no distraction is going to keep it from completing its task this time. You take one look at your struggling companion and draw some strength from his bravery. You might have the wherewithal to do something, if only you can figure out what to do. Look at Puppy's face. Okay, so really quickly, I am going to knock that down. That was a little too loud for my ear. So we do have Puppy here. I think we're petting him, so I think we know exactly what we're going to do. And I think exactly what we have to do. I think we're going to have to possess our puppy friend. Again. Possession. What breed of dog is that? I don't know. It looks like a cow dog kind of mutt. But it's very cute. I would love any puppy that would try and take care of me like that. I don't even care about the breed. You trace the runes in the air and place your hand on the dog's scruffy fur. The magic swiftly takes hold. You stiffen as you feel your soul passing away. Everything goes dark. Your soul flies into the dog's body just as Sandrax lets loose the blast of fire. The dog's reflexes leap you away, keeping you from harm. This doesn't save your body, though. The flaming column burns a hole clear through its chest. You can actually see the glowing rock floor below. Sangdrax bellows in triumph, but then his eyes orient on you. He breathes in, preparing another blast. Some rocks lie in a natural pile near the gate. The dragon's second torrent of fire totally obliterates the dog, and with it your soul. Well, let's undo. You bolt into the city, narrowly missing the dragon's second torrent of flame. Scared almost out of your mind, you dart into the cluster of buildings. You pad into the narrow alleys and twisting side streets. Soon, when you feel you might have lost the dragon, you wander into an open building. Okay. I'm going to pause for just a second. I'm going to take a quick step away. It'll take me about maybe 2 minutes, so forgive me for just a second, if you will. Yeah, 1 second. It'll take me, I say 2 minutes. I think 2 minutes is about right. A good boy breed. I believe from Goodtopia. Yeah, he is a good boy. He protect me. But I died. I absolutely died. 1 second. There we go. Okay. See, it didn't take too long. Oop. Okay. Maybe should have dodged rolls. Clearly, the dragon is simply not ready for iframes. I get no iframes. That's the sound of a silent BRB screen, but wait. How can a BRB screen have sound if there's no one here to hear it? The sound of a BRB screen, a silent BRB screen, is likely the sound of your own thoughts, if you can indeed hear your thoughts. Again, remember, I cannot. My thoughts are visual, but I don't have any sort of audible thought. I don't have the ability to hear my thoughts. The dragon's fiery breath passes right through you, but you are unaffected because you pressed B in the correct time window. What will you do now? You fail to dodge the fire. You are now at your last bonfire and lost all of your souls. Well, I think I am my last bonfire, honestly. I don't hear thoughts, same as Retro. I feel like it'd get noisy. Yeah. I do too. I have a visual... Sherlock Holmes uses the term mind palace, which I quite like, and I have a visual mind palace, not an audible one. But the downside is I guess I don't... It's probably part of the reason I have issues reading out loud is because I don't hear the voice before I say it, so when I say it is when it's happening real time, so... Which might mean that it's not very good. Robed figures are filling the seats surrounding you. They all move slowly, yawning, as if just awakened. A man in front notices you and approaches.
What do we have here? A dog?
He studies you carefully.
I've seen a dog for ages, but then again, I've been asleep for that long. Hello, boy. I'm Sama. How'd you get in here? Did you come with the Sartan forces from the other realms?
He crouches down, gives your head a pat, and looks deeply into your eyes. Suddenly his face goes stone sober and his eyes grow hard. He retracts his hand as if fearful of your biting it off.
This dog is no dog. It is a vessel for another's soul. The soul of a patron.
He addresses the councilmen, now fully assembled. The councilmen gasp and yell, but Sama waves his hand and the room quiets.
We found no other Sartan, no rescue forces. All we discovered were the charred remains of one man and these items.
Two men walk into the room bearing your possessions. They approach Sama and report. They dump the items onto the floor. I don't really hear sorry, I had a strange dream last night. This that I had to do a little medical test based on my yawning, but I was not able to yawn. That's all right, though. I mean, at least, it could be a much worse dream. At least just not being able to yawn is all there was to it, you know? That's better.
Friends, we have a very unusual situation. Our ward has fallen. This roused us from our slumber as predicted. But instead of greeting the Sartan rescue forces as we expected, all we find is a dog carrying a patron's soul. We need answers, and the only source is this patron. While he exists inside of the dog, he cannot communicate. I suggest that we restore the patron to his original form so that we can question him.
Sama regards the pile of objects, then looks at you. He says to the assembled council.
Bring a patron here? To our very heart? Have you forgotten that the patrons are our mortal enemies? I say leave him in the dog's body. Soon he'll forget he ever was a patron, and he'll be no threat to us.
The room erupts in chaos. One council member cries. Dog truly is a man's best friend. I don't know, I like cats a lot too.
Do you know what is happening out there? Where are our fellows? Why is this patron here? How long have we slept? It's very possible that the patrons have been rehabilitated as intended. Perhaps this is our rescuer. Is this how you would treat such a guest? No. We shall restore him, and we shall have our questions answered then. It is the only way.
Oh, now that's why it's black and white. Do dogs truly see in black and white? They only have two cones they see in two color gradient, I think. They can see colors, yeah, they don't see super well, blue super well, I believe. I believe they see greens and yellows most strongly. Yeah, I believe they see, yeah, I can't remember if it's blue, but anyway, they don't see, yeah, I think it's blues particularly well. Could be wrong. Dog smell is strong. Oh, by far, 300,000 receptors versus our, I think, like 20,000. Yeah.
Whatever you might think of me, Councilman, I am no fool. You may prepare the nullification element. We will administer it to the patron after he is restored.
The councilman folds his arms and stares sternly at Sama, unwilling to cross him but willing to risk displaying his feelings. Sama continues. The councilman grunts in approval, then fetches a bottle filled with water. He traces a quick spell in the air which flows into the liquid. After a moment of light, the bottle looks absolutely normal. You notice that while you are watching the lone Sartan and his bottle, the entire council has gathered around you. Together, they weave an incredibly complex spell that appears to require all of them, or them all. Like a blanket, the spell falls over you and sinks into your flesh. The dog's body reacts violently to the Sartan magic. Limbs stretch, tendons pop. Your bones start to expand and twist. You let loose yowls of pain, one after another, but notice that each one sounds a little more like a human scream than the last. Finally, you lay on the ground panting and hurting, but in what seems to be your old, comfortable body. You feel hands draw you up and clothe you in the garments that remain from the dragon's attack. Then someone pours cool, clear water down your throat. You accept it eagerly. I imagine the clothes that we're wearing are probably not particularly decent, though, considering a gigantic hole has been burned through them. And our dog is, I guess, dead now. I don't know. I mean, whatever we've done, our dog's gone. Oh, no, the good boy, no. Yeah, I know. I guess our dog has died.
What have you done to me, Sartan? You've taken my magic away!
You drink all of the water offered and soon notice a tingling sensation. Somehow the water has removed your ability to cast spells. You are as helpless as a newborn against these Sartan. You scream.
Calm, my friend. What we have done is temporary, and for your protection as much as ours. You have imbibed some nullified water. This eliminates all of your magical possibilities. While you cannot bring any possibilities into this reality, neither can any be placed upon you. This means that although you cannot cast any spells, you are invulnerable to others' magic as well. You have been nullified. It will continue for only as long as we need to question you.
Sama replies. I like that again, right? So he says, you cannot bring possibilities into this reality. We talked about the way that magic works at the very beginning, where the intent was that magic is basically just bringing all of the infinite possibilities that could occur. Magic is just manipulating it so that the possibility most in line with your want is the possibility that occurs in your existence. So I really think that's a cool way to say it when he says you cannot bring any possibilities into this reality. But the other thing is, the nullification means that no possibilities can be levied against you. I think that's a really, really cool twist on this. Anti-magic, let's go. Isn't that a neat twist? This world's magic, explanations of magic and system, I think are really, really good. The Witcher, going back to The Witcher is one of those that tries to explain how magic works again, which I think is great. But I think this might even be better than that in terms of how it describes, because the Witcher magic is just described as the difference between give and take of energies, basically. But I like this one a lot better, and I think they go a lot more in detail with it, and so, yeah. Okay, gotta go. Sorry, no worries. Thanks for stopping in, Copyright. I really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to get to talk with you. We're all about logic and science. We do not allow magic here. What if magic is something that exists, right? And we just find versions of science that we didn't understand and we call them magic. It's kind of the same way. Chemistry came from alchemy. Alchemy was magic orientated. Now we have chemistry, which is predominantly science orientated. But again, I've said this before. Look in America, specifically, of all of the things that we've done to try to win wars and battles like Vietnam. We've tried literally black magic, military sanctioned, government sanctioned black magic. We've tried and I'm not being silly, facetious, or blasé about this. We've tried a gay bomb, a bomb that would drop supposedly pheromones, which would cause men to be so enamored with their troop, other men in their troop, that they wouldn't pay attention to the gas mask. Gas masked American soldiers. So we've tried everything from outlandish pheromones to actual satanic, and I'm saying satanic because I believe it was satanic rituals. I mean, I don't know I don't know what magic is, but I don't know that non-existence is. I don't know that non-existence is what it is either. But I don't think that. I also don't think it's what we envision it to be. Like, I don't believe magic is the idea of pointing a finger and a glowy thing coming out of it and making stuff real. I wonder what real magic would be if we could define it. Maybe magic is something we attain when we successfully science.
Now let us begin. Who are you? Why are you here? How did you get into the city?
I mean, you have to think about it. We literally can create we literally can create an atmosphere that ignites itself. We understand the science of it, but it is all just a bunch of what seem to be esoteric symbols on a board, then made manifest over the course of something that seems really magical, shooting a certain type of beam at a certain type of particle, you know? When you think about that, when you talk about it like that, even though it is what we know to be science, you could very easily put it into something that is you could very easily put it into a something that would be fantasy related, and people would look at that and go, that does sound like magic. What do religious people... It depends on the religion, as my experience. Some religious people, depending on the religion, some religious people believe that magic is essential and something that we do daily. Some religious people believe that magic is real and abhorrent, and some religious people don't believe that magic exists. It just depends on the religion and the sect of the subsection of that religion.
Aren't you the same Sama who originally sundered the world? Who banished my people into the labyrinth?
Yes, I am that. I know that you can't understand this, but it was all necessary. It was part of a larger plan. I'll explain everything after you tell me what you know.
I've seen your plan in action. You couldn't have done more damage to more lives if you tried.
I'm starting to get that impression, although I am loath to believe it. If you would tell me your story, I would understand much better.
Abracadabra, alakazam, we teleport over to the retro room. That would be really cool if we could do teleportation.
Do you know how long you've been sleeping?
Not really. I'm starting to think that it may have been much longer than I intended.
You've been asleep for over 2,000 years.
2,000 years? How is that possible? You must tell me what has happened. This just keeps getting more confusing.
All right, Sartan. You want the truth? I'll give it to you.
The question is, have I been around for that entire 2,000 years? Or has it just been Czar who's been around that 2,000 years and told me the story? You launch into a tirade, personally blaming Sama for leaving the labyrinth masterless, turning it into a slaughterhouse that thirsted for your people's death. You recount the thousands of years of struggle and bloodshed which even now plagues your race. You describe your lord's unprecedented escape, and tell how he selflessly and safely led others, including yourself, out of the labyrinth. You state that his thirst for revenge against the Sartan is unequaled.
If you kill me, others will follow. Even now, our army outnumbers that of the surviving Sartan. I've seen your forces. I know.
Rip Dog, he was the best of us. He was.
My lord will destroy them effortlessly. You can't win.
You continue by recounting your experiences and describing the state of the Sartan on each of the worlds. Sama cries openly at the description of the dead Sartan and their crystal resting places on Arianas. He seems genuinely confused by the antics of Zifnab on Pryan. He recoils on learning of the practice of necromancy on Abarak, and he listens closely to the account of your battle with Sangdrax and of your escape.
I have much to say about what you have told me. Your people, you have been wronged. I wish I could change what has happened, but I cannot. It seems that we took on far too much. We thought we were gods, that we were infallible. We weren't. And both of our races have paid the price. However insane you think it might have been, there was a purpose to the plan. We tried to create worlds in which the Mensch would thrive once they were united and the realms were interconnected. What your Lord seeks to do is collect all of the seal pieces to reform the original world. He doesn't understand what this means. His efforts will result in the death of many of the Mensch left alive in the new realms.
We have to remember that our boss doesn't care much about the Mensch races, though.
Perhaps he does understand. By decimating the opposing force even before...
Mensch races are humans, dwarves, and elves. Those are the Mensch races. So you have the patrons, you have the wave, which is all evil and all good. And those are embodied by the maximal beings. So the dragon that Zifnab has on one end and Sangdrax on the other. Then you have hyper-powerful emissaries of each, which are Zifnab. I don't know if there's really an equal to Zifnab, but he's not the Sangdrax level, but he's not. I think maybe you are actually, to be fair, it's probably Zifnab and you are the equals of the, of the emissaries. Then you have the patriarchs, that's going to be Sama and Zar. Then you have the people, that's going to be patrons and Sartan. And then you have the Mensch, and the Mensch are in the in-between of that bottom level, which are elves, dwarves, and humans. But where are the Ubermensch? Well, there would only be one. I mean, I think when they're talking about Mensch races, they're not necessarily going into the Nietzschean theory here, or philosophy. I think they're just talking about races that are not Sartan patron. You know your Lord's ambition. From his research, he probably already knows how the Reformation will affect the Mensch, and you suspect that he may be willing to sacrifice his own people to further the cause of conquest. You understand that he views you individually as expendable, but just how far does his view of expendability extend? He has claimed in the past that there are always casualties in war.
You may be right, Sama. I'm not sure about your plan.
But it's not it's a good point. It's still a good point, though, because you do have that element of, and to some extent, you and Zifnab represent the Ubermensch of the Sartan and of the patrons.
I hope that we can begin a new era of peace together. Go back to your Lord. Tell him that I will gladly speak with him. But I have one important question before you go. What exactly happened to Sandrax after you escaped from him?
Sama exhales relievedly. As you consider the question, one of the men who brought your possessions into the room begins to writhe. He tears off his robe and metamorphizes into the gigantic shape of Sangdrax. The Sartan dive for safety behind the benches. Only Sama and yourself remain standing in the open. Sangdrax ignores the assembly, glides over to the seal piece upon the wall, and grabs it between two talons.
Thank you, patron, for painting such a vivid picture of all of the worlds, including your own. That lovely place called the Labyrinth. Definitely a realm after my own heart. You see, I feed on fear and chaos, and I can't see a better way to produce such things than by allowing your lord to proceed with his plan. However, since you appear to have lost your nerve, I'll have to take your place.
The dragon's eyes focus on you, but for some reason you don't experience the wave of fear that accompanied his presence at your last meeting. Alongside of you, Sama is shivering. He looks terrified.
Your lord trusts you, does he not? Especially when you are doing what he wants. I shall take your ship, go to the Nexus, and deliver this seal piece to him. I'm guessing that it will complete his collection. Then I shall lead him to the Vortex where he can perform the rite of reformation. I'm so sorry you decided to turn against your lord. I'm sure that he doesn't view traitors in a very good light.
Once again, he shifts his form. You'd swear you were looking into a mirror.
I do hope you won't die in the ensuing chaos. All of you. I'd love to meet you again. We have much to discuss, and an eternity of pain during which we can discuss it.
He strolls out of the building before you can say a word. Only after the dragon has left do the councilmen emerge. Sama unclenches his jaw and forces himself to stop shaking. Can't you stop him? How did he take my form? Why wasn't I affected? It had me in its grasp. That's because I'm nullified. I'll ask this.
Can't you stop Sangdrax?
No, I'm afraid not. His magic is too powerful for us to oppose. When we first arrived here, we built this city and placed the Mensch inside the other sea moons. Stone-enclosed islands much like this one. Shortly thereafter, Sangdrax appeared. We don't know where he came from. Unprovoked, he launched an attack against us. He never destroyed us all, just killed a few people. But it was enough to keep us scared and confused. We never had a chance to defeat him. He commands some form of magic that is foreign to us, more powerful than the rune-based magic that we use. We erected the ward around the city as a last-ditch effort against him. Evidently, it worked. The ward was designed to keep out all foreign magic. Since he consisted almost entirely of pure magic, he could not enter. We decided to enter our sleep capsules. We expected that when the others had learned that we were in danger, they would gather here to help us defeat Sangdrax. We keyed our awakening to occur when the ward had fallen, assuming that it would happen only when the other Sartan had arrived.
Okay.
We never dreamed that thousands of years would pass before the ward fell. Now that it has, Sangdrax is loose. Not only is he a threat to us, but with your ship, he has access to all of the worlds. And if he succeeds in causing the Reformation, we'll all probably die in the process anyway.
Tell him about the Zifnab stone. I should, at least.
A stone to use against some ultimate evil. Do you think this might prove effective against Sangdrax?
I don't know. Tell me about it. It sounds like this might be some other kind of magic. Perhaps made from the same source that created Sangdrax himself. It may be that Sangdrax is vulnerable to it. Where is it? I didn't see it along with your possessions.
You described the stone and the way it reacted to Sangdrax, as well as Sangdrax's reaction to it.
Sangdrax got hold of the stone and tossed it into a pile of rocks which look exactly like it. I don't have a clue which one it is.
I'm afraid
probably so. I mean, this is the entirety of this is story-based, right? So, I mean, it is very much a visual novel.
Now, lost among similar rocks. I do hope you're able to get it back, though. Judging from the way Sangdrax reacted to it, it sounds as if that stone is our only hope to defeat the dragon.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and leave. I think I know everything else.
Time for action.
Very well. If I can be of any further assistance, do not hesitate to ask.
You notice that sometime during your conversation with Sama, the nullification spell wore off. You now have command of your magic back again. What if... Oh, I need a ship.
Hello again.
Do you have another ship that I can use to pursue him?
Yes, certainly. In fact, as we've been speaking, I've had another ship placed in the same port where you landed. You're welcome to it. There is, however, one problem. We seem to be a little short on steering stones. It takes quite a while to magically prepare a stone sphere to accept the naming runes that guide a ship through the Death Gate. The only such stone we have is the ceremonial globe in this very chamber, and you can't use that.
Don't you think saving the worlds is worth sacrificing your precious ceremonial globe?
Not at all. You see, the globe was placed in this room before the building's construction was complete. It's too large to fit through any of the exits. It's also far too heavy to move any distance by hand. You're welcome to it if you can find a way to transport it. But then, it doesn't have any of the naming runes on it anyway. I don't think that the globe is the solution to this problem.
But I do.
I don't have time.
I have an idea. I accidentally copy and pasted a moment from Chickmo. No, that's okay.
I can be of any further assistance.
So here's what I think. I think if I were to... I think I could create a reality pocket on this rug. Because it's right below it, right? You trace the familiar spell in the air. When it takes effect, it's as if the picture in the carpet comes into focus, taking on a new dimension. The scene, a single tree in the lush clearing, is real. Now I think I could push Yes. You get behind the globe and push against it with all of your might. The stone sphere creaks, then rolls off of its stand and bounces down the steps, and ends up on the carpet. Only it doesn't stop there, since the carpet is now a portal into the other where the globe falls into it. You see it continue to roll until it hits the tree in the scene. So now I can take the rug, roll up the carpet, and take it from the floor. Wonderful. Now I'm going to use... Let's see. What's doing with my clothes? Okay. So I think what I could do is I could hang the rug here. You hang the carpet on the nearest support beam. It makes for quite a nice decoration. It is quite nice. And then I can create the reality pocket again. Now I can put that rug in my Animal Crossing house. That would be that would be really cool to be able to have a create reality pocket spell. I think that would be super nice. Okay, we're going to cast it again. You cast the rune construct, but the carpet has been previously affected by... Oh, it's already still there. So I can actually just enter the rug. You step into the carpet hanging from the beam. Immediately, you are transported into the scene, a lush clearing with the soul tree. I should just be able to push this then, right? Again, you gather your strength and heave the boulder like globe towards its portal. It rolls without much problem. In fact, as soon as the globe is partway through it, gravity on the far side grabs the sphere from your hands. The globe disappears. There's a lovely little clearing. And then I'm going to leave, go back out of the portal. You step through the portal and back onto your ship. As soon as you leave, the carpet reverts back to its original state. You stand in the cramped bridge of Sama's ship. It has the navigational wheel and the globe where the steering stone should be. Okay, let's go ahead and use rune transfer. So we can put the entire steering, all of the runes on our steering stone. You transfer the pendant onto the stone globe. So now that's all of them. But we need that rock. So I think... It's an empty glass bottle. I need him to give me that water. Nope. I need him to give me that water because... I'm going to need to go in that cave. I need to look in that cave.
Why wasn't I affected by the dragon's aura of fear? It sure had me in its grasp last time I encountered it.
That's because you had been nullified. Remember, nullifying water eliminates your vulnerability to magic, as well as your ability to cast spells. Sangrax's aura of fear didn't affect you because no magic could affect you.
Okay.
If that's so, why didn't you all tank up with the water and go after him? His magic wouldn't do a thing against...
Because he's still a dragon.
This is true, although we would be helpless as well as invulnerable. While the water was in effect, we would not be able to use our magic against Sangrax. We could only confront him physically. He can choose any form. In a purely physical battle, he would destroy us hands down.
Yep, that makes sense.
How did Sangrax take my...
I need that water,
That's one of his
though.
powers. He can assume the form of anyone or anything he desires. The talent renders him insidious as well as invincible.
Where is Sangrax leading, my lord? The Vortex?
Yes, the Vortex is the one place that the Reformation ritual can be enacted. It is where we originally sundered the world. It's also the only place where the interconnection can begin.
Okay. Alright, so let's go back.
Sir,
I'll get some water. That's what I need. I need the,
I don't have time for talk. Now's the time for action.
Dario,
I need I need water. I need specifically the water that they... Can I talk to any of them? No. Hold on.
Hello.
Could we talk a little?
Very well.
Do you know who Zipnab is?
I know of no Zifnab, but I doubt that is his true name. He sounds like a valuable ally if he knows as much as you say and has access to magic outside of our master.
So maybe he is the good of the wave.
Why'd you react so strongly when I told you about necromancy?
Necromancy was banned for many reasons soon after it was discovered. The most important reason being that when someone dead is raised, someone else will die untimely. This maintains the balance. By relying on necromancy, the people of Abarak have doomed our race.
I just drank water out of a Star Wars mug. Very nice. Very good. Very much on theme.
Sartan as far away as Arianas and Priam. It wiped out thousands.
Why is everyone here alive and well?
It's actually ironic. The ward that we constructed to repel the magic of Sangdrax must have had the effect of repelling the magic of necromancy as well. It kept us alive against two dangers. But now, we only have hundreds of people left, where once we had tens of thousands. We shall try to reconstruct our lives, to help our brethren on Abarak, if there is a world left to live on.
Let's go back and...
Certainly.
Do I need to know about the interconnection?
Where is the vortex?
The only place from which the vortex can be entered is in the labyrinth. We reasoned that this would be the safest place to hide the portal. It may be that your lord will balk at traveling the length of the labyrinth again, the wrong way, but Sangdrax can be very persuasive. He will convince him, one way or another.
Okay, so we are basically the guardians of the vortex.
Is the interconnection?
We designed the realms to work together. Each had specific functions to perform in the overall plan. The interconnection was to tie all of the worlds together.
Oh, you know what? I might have learned the nullification spell myself. I might be able to make my own nullification water. I have an idea.
Find them to produce manufactured goods. Prion would supply power.
So the Star Wars game talks of vortex and labyrinths. Wait, there are some... Jedi Outcast does kind of do that, though.
Notably, Abarak. The realms were never designed to survive on their own for an extended time, and yet that's exactly what they've had to do. It's not too late, though. From what you've told me, Abarak is dying. The interconnection is the only thing that can save it. It's the only...
Okay, I think I learned the nullification spell. I think I can do it myself, actually. So let's try that.
Let's back up.
Certain.
I don't have to...
Let's get out of that. So I think what I can actually do is go over here, and I think I could probably take this empty bottle and put water in the bottle, right? Fill the bottle up with water. And then we'll see if I actually did learn the nullification spell, because if I did, I can make my own... Yes, I did. I can make my own null water. Cast. The spell surrounds the bottle of water. After a few seconds, it has done its work. Although the water looks the same, you know that it has the magic nullifying effects that you experienced earlier. Okay, so now I'm going to drink some. You take a swig of the water. Immediately you sense the effects your magic power drains away, making you feel as helpless as a newborn, but this also means that foreign magic cannot affect you. But I can now go into the cave. Enter. There's no doubt that Sangdrax calls this cave home. Blood streaks the walls and the floor is littered with the remains of previous meals. Scales. Let me take one of those. Sharp stone spikes jut into the cave from the ceiling and floor. Okay, so I have those. Let me leave. Your ship has landed on the beach, which rises to a dark cave. Okay, I feel like I should not have these. So let me... Nope. I need to hurry before the water wears off. I need to put these on the rock pile. You spread the dragon scales over the rock pile. As you hope, Zifnab's rock reacts to the magic in the scales by glowing. Now the rock is very visible and easily distinguishable from the other stones in the pile. Okay, I need to grab that stone. You take the glowing stone from the pile of rocks. The nullifying effect of the water wears off. Once again, you can cast spells but are vulnerable to others' magic as well. Perfect. Okay. because I think being by these skells would be bad if I didn't have the nullifying effect. Ooh, can I show Sam of the Rock real quick? It doesn't matter. I'll see if I can show it to him, but I don't think I can.
Hello again.
No, I can't.
I don't have time. Very well.
So we notice when we go out, it glows next to the scales, but we're just going to go enter my ship, and we've got to run back to the Nexus. And I think that's going to bring us to where I'm going to stop, because we have... I think we've only got one more episode. I think we only have to go to the vortex, go through to the vortex. I think it is the longest stretch. I don't know. I think Abarak may have been the longest stretch. Nope. I believe if you're holding those scales, I think it's a death if you are holding those scales when the nullifying water wears off. Do I still have water in there? Look at it. Yep, filled with clear liquid. So I still have water left. Nullifying water, which is good. Okay, let's see if we can go talk to Czar. Nope, Czar left. I'm going to take his book then. The spherical crystal glow. Okay, can I take that by chance? The glow lamp is fixed to the wall. Evidently, Czar magically released the one you took before. He's not here to do that now. He left. I think that Sangdrax convinced him to go back into the labyrinth. Here, we'll just go. Yep, notice the labyrinth gate is opened again. This gate is the final portal of the labyrinth. Just beyond is the hell you called home for most of your life. I think we're going to save it here. We're going to call it... Okay, we'll take this and delete... Oh, I doesn't... Gosh dang it. Vortex. Hit OK, and then I'm going to go ahead and delete that other one. Okay. Alright, that's going to be the final. That's big. How do you take a room? Oh, I can take the retro room. Yeah, but that's a different concept. Alright, I think we're to our last piece then. So I'm going to go ahead and move us over to the finishing piece and say thank you very much for watching. Let me go ahead and get everything situated. Here. Make sure I get everything situated here for a second. There we go. Let's bring some music in. All right. Pretty quiet music, I think. Let's see if we have... Let's see if it's just my side. It may just be my side. Yeah, there we go. Let's say thank you very much. Wait, you can't enter here. Where's the Star Wars game to prepare for May the 4th? I don't know. It just depends on how things go. I might do something surprise for May the 4th. Something surprising for May the 4th. I do know that I'm doing a lot of May the 4th stuff myself and celebrating. I know that if you go over to the Siren Ivy's channel, she's intending to do some May the 4th stuff. I don't know what all she's intending to do, but it's worth taking a peek at if you should be really hankering for that Star Wars fix for May the 4th. It's all good. Well, I appreciate that, Viddy, and I really appreciate you for being here and having conversations and talking with me. It's been really nice. A huge thank you to everybody who did show up: Viddy, Ash, Maki, Dr. Mad, and Copyright, for coming in, just talking and having fun. I have fun playing these games, but it's really getting to talk with you all and your interactions, your questions, that make this a ton of fun. It just takes the experience that I would normally have of having fun and drives it up even further. So a huge thank you to you all for being here and talking with me. But I hope you've had fun. We have I think it's one more episode. We may have two, but I think we have one more episode before we're done with Deathgate. And then I think the intention is to move on to The Witcher 3, which I will actually be helping guide Ivy through. She's not played The Witcher 3 much. So she's going to play, and then I'm going to kind of help guide her and take some of the difficult parts away, hopefully, if I can, and we'll do that. Now, it'll probably be a little bit more lax. There'll probably be some weeks where if she can't do it, she's got to travel, or we've got to do this or that or the other, that I'll substitute something else in, just in the event that she should have time away, need time away, whatever the case might be there. But that's ultimately the idea, is to try and do that. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful rest of your weekend, a wonderful May the 4th and Revenge of the 5th, and may the Force be with you always.